How's it going?
It's still going.
Whoops, whoops. Go, echo. One day I'll learn to turn up my computer. How are you?
I am I am A-okay.
Skits kind of coined the godless coffee, so I go on a little early. Show off my giant saucer because I am the human version of Garfield.
Yes. Why have one pan of lasagna when you can have two?
Those were the greatest books back in the day. Those were like the greatest books. How's Broomhilda today?
We haven't played together today, so hopefully we're doing good.
Hey, Commander. Hello, hello. Oh, whoops. I'm all over the place today. And I don't even have my glasses on. Do you have a cricket in your house?
Nope.
Oh, it might be your sewing machine.
Oh, actually, there are crickets outside. There's not some in my house. Hopefully.
I have like sentinel hearing. I have unreal hearing. Commander, you are always invited in. So anytime, let me know and I will shoot you the link. I understand how it is to get up early. I have too much to review today. I don't even know where to begin.
Oh, God. Oh, well, I'll wait to share what I looked under the other machine's hood, and we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Phoenix, hi, Kilroy. How are you? How are you? Phoenix does have an excellent mic. That's proof of a good mic.
It, yeah, the Rode Mic Mini.
So, fun story. Back when I didn't know how to control this mic, it picked up everything in the background, and my house is infested with crickets. You know what would really what? Oh gosh, it's early and I already can't read because I'm blind. You know what would really what would really mean yet harmless? Release a box of crickets into your worst enemy's house. Do you know what's really funny? Someone did that to me. You know what? People tell me all the time, "Oh, it's good luck." I hate crickets. Hey, Mark, how's it going? How's it going? Do you know lately YouTube, for some reason, does not show me all comments. So if I don't comment on something or I comment like a week later, it's because I just noticed it. And I live in my YouTube studio. So YouTube's really been doing something lately. Hey, Alibaba. Oh, you know what's really funny? I had a pastrami cheeseburger before all of this. Because I'm going the health route.
Oh,
Phoenix, you
I
literally stopped.
hate
I
funny
couldn't see your.
expressions. I'm like, I've got my faces, and I need to fix. Guess they're sewing down here tonight.
I want to get one of those like proper YouTuber microphones that I see on every podcast that I see, like, you know. Who's that guy? He's obnoxious. He lives near me. Him and Patricia Patatas.
Oh,
H3
Patus. Oh,
H3N3.
yep.
I've actually seen
His
him
wife's.
and
What's his first name? His name.
I've actually seen him walking around. LA's a different planet. Oh man, what are you doing? This tablet is not wanting to be a tablet right now. There we go. And yes, I'm over 40, so I own a tablet. How's everybody? Man, I'm gonna gripe about Hobby Lobby. So right off the bat, how does everybody feel about religious organizations owning places? Because quite honestly, I don't have a problem with it necessarily as long as their policies don't spill onto people. But my godless sewing patches scared the manager at my local Hobby Lobby. There's a couple of servers that you could buy a spring-loaded box or a tube of glitter to send to your enemy's house. I love watching the when people get porch pirates with the glitter bombs and the fart bombs. I live for that. Yeah, a Rode mic. Found an Audio Technica. Do you know I have an Audio Technica that works? It's just absolute magic. An obnoxious person that lives in America doesn't narrow it down. I'm gonna do the professional YouTuber thing. I'm doing this early because I'm a I try not to be a Karen. I have another question for you. If you went to a restaurant and you got cold food, how would you react?
I so I'm gonna go with the premise of you expected your food to be hot and it turned out cold rather than you ordered a cold dish.
I ordered bacon pancakes and bacon hash browns and scrambled eggs, and my scrambled eggs and hash browns were cold.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I didn't go full Karen, but I was like, I didn't eat it. And the person visibly saw that, like they were like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And I was like, "My food's cold." But I wasn't trying to ruin my son's experience because I'm a Karen and I will. Do you know what's so sad? While I was complaining, though, there was a young couple, and I won't say that they look like me, but they looked like me, and they walked out because they were like, "Oh, if they're not serving him properly, they're not going to serve us properly." But I've had a Karen, kind of a Karen week, you know. But I don't know where's that line of like, because everyone knows I don't care if I end up online. Like I'm one of those weird people who like if I go into Starbucks, I expect hot coffee.
Okay, we gotta pause for a second. The true test of this mic. Did you hear my thunder just now? If
Kind
not,
of. I'm such a rambler though. Okay, so very quickly, because people from Mexico have super succeeded people from Russia, and I love you, all of you, in this parasocial relationship that we have. This program is intended for entertainment purposes only, and the content is not intended to malign any race, religion, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by Godless Sewing and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every human being on the planet. And here in Godless Sewing Airlines, we have exits on both sides. If you don't like it, that's a la izquierda and derecha. Thank you. And while we're on the subject, the Golden Knights are destroying. The Stanley Cup is not as interesting as I thought it would be this year, but that's okay because around here I love hockey. So there it was. I was minding my own business at Hobby Lobby, and okay, so Commander would complain and at least ask them to warm it up. Hey, Waternay, hello, hello. There's one bloke making fake packages with a shotgun blank inside, makes the porch pirates shit themselves. I love watching those videos, Mark Short. I love watching porch pirates get their just due. It's a hobby of mine. Hey, Waternay, hello, hello. I would never make a scene, but I would ask politely for them to warm my food. I have two volumes. It's hi and what is wrong with you? So I wasn't even trying to shut the place down, but my bill would have been 70 something dollars and it went and they took my food off.
oh, that's good.
So that's why I'm just like whining and not complaining. Your camera's disconnected.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'll be right. Let me fix that. I'll just put my pretty face.
I won't do business with Hobby Lobby because of their religious ties, but that's what I want to do with my money. You do what you want to do with your money. Okay, so here's my thing. Like I've never walked into Chick-fil-A. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't participate in. Hobby Lobby has mega sales. Every other week they put their entire store on sale. So I go a bit crazy with their excuse me, with their fabric sales. Like I lose my mind with their fabric sales. That's why I have too much fabric in this house. But for the first time ever, I'm gonna send this to the group and then I'll post it on here. But for the first time ever, I was followed around by a manager, and it was strange to me because every single person in that store knows me, so I know she's new or I went to high school with her because I made the mistake of moving back to my hometown like a like a not so smart person. But it kind of made me laugh because um I guess my godless sewing vest does kind of look crazy. Oh, no worry, Duff. No worries.
Ooh, do you want
How
to
are things
start the
going tonight?
oven? The ninja just came back.
How, how are things going tonight? Okay, okay. I'm going off about Hobby Lobby. No worry, Dub. No worry. So, long story short, let's see. I'll put that picture. It was just a really weird experience, because the one thing I didn't say yesterday that I was waiting to say today is the only reason I even knew that she was behind me is because she started praying with another employee. And it didn't dawn on me what they were talking about until she said godless. And I'm like, oh, she read the back of my vest. So my godless sewing vest scared the manager at Hobby Lobby to the point where she's she was following me around.
Oh, that's funny.
And it made me laugh because every employee in there knows me. And you know what? When I walked in there, I was going for a Kermit patch because we were talking about gay frogs last week. So I went straight for the Kermit patch. And it kind of, oh, whoops. I have to have a share screen first. It kind of made me laugh that she was following me around. I rarely have these experiences because everywhere I go, people know me and I stick out. Like I know I stick out. Let's see what the chat's saying.
It happens.
Pretty much everywhere that has Hobby Lobby has a Joann's Fabrics too. It's like it isn't like I have to go out of my way or anything. You're right. There's a, you know what? My town has a Joann's as well. They were praying for your soul. They were literally praying for me. And it's just, it's weird and uncomfortable. I don't judge you. I love your shirt, Phoenix. I don't judge you by your religion. I don't judge you by anything that you do. Just, I live my life in a weird peace and I leave people alone. And it's not that I expect that. I just wish people would return the favor sometimes. So the first picture I'm going to show is of my big face because I went like I was taking selfies. And I need to find, oh, here we go. But it was just weird to me. Here we go. Okay. So there's my big fat face. But she was literally can you see her? Can you see that?
Yes.
Everywhere I turned, she was behind me, okay? So, and then that's me zooming in on her. I think I went to high school with her.
Maybe that's why she was praying so hard. She's like, it hasn't changed, or this is worse than I remembered.
Thanks, Dove. That's my everyday work wearing hat. It's my cowboy hat is beat up. That thing has seen better days. You know, hats are like shoes. They really don't fit until they're almost disintegrated.
Right.
But it was just strange to be followed around by this woman. Like, and the funny thing is when I was walking in, her and another manager were standing at the door. They were
Like,
standing at
they
the
were
door.
like, they saw you from the security cams in the top the top level, and were like, "Oh God, it's coming in again. Get ready, Betty Sue. We got to get our praying hands out."
And the scary guy just came in and spent an unreal amount on fabric. I was literally cruising for purple fabric. I'm a threat. I'm a threat. Oh, she was looking into the glass and checking you out. Oh, thank you, Dove. I do judge people when they have clean cowboy hats. I do, but I'm a gatekeeper. She was checking out that sweet godless ass. Damn right. I'm a rollerblader, so I do have hockey legs. It was strange. It was so strange, and I think because I'm treated like the mayor everywhere else I go, it's weird to me because people give me a weird respect because I go to the same places over and over. And I know people by
They know
name.
you show up and they're like, better be nice. He's gonna drop some dough, so
Yeah.
shut up, be nice. And these ladies haven't figured out that they just need to shush up and play nice.
And I do like I have my fabric habit is expensive. I spent no cap, I spent $80 just on that trip. You better get out of my way. I especially when I'm on a mission. When I'm on a mission, you need to get out of my way. I just don't like I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? I don't even think it was race. It was the godless sewing thing that scared her.
Possibly.
And because when I got to the counter, I had quite a trip. I got to the counter, and then there was a woman who worked at Hobby Lobby, and she looked at me, and she flat out said to my face that she used to ride with a club that I shall not say their name in the
Right.
70s in Venice, and I was like, so there's some hope. There's some hope in Hobby Lobby. I have a corn cob Shady Brady that I found in a thrift store in Seattle. That's awesome. I have a weird collection of caps. I also have like a Stetson crushable because I wanted a Stetson, but I can't afford them. Not like that. Did you just say no cap? Are you turning into Gen Z? I've been watching a lot of content. I have. And there are people my age, but I'm not hip at all. And I did say no cap. I did.
Yes, hello Loki.
Aw.
Hello Loki.
It's strange to me. And all I wanted to do was make my stupid purple sweater.
Right. I know that made me. Oh, hold on for you, Fruiters.
What I know we discussed it yesterday, but what material is this? Is it like fake? Now I have blue velvet stuck in my head.
Yeah, fake faux velvet.
I'm
Which
here
made me
all day for fake
fine.
velvet. Let's have a sensory moment.
I know.
This purple is shiny. I really haven't worked with this material yet, but I think I'm going to start making. I'm all about bootleg and fake stuff. I want to
Yep.
go downtown because I want to buy a roll of fake Louis Vuitton material and make my own stuff. In your travels, were you ever a person that wears purple?
Oh, yes. I'm wearing like not. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. It's not quite purple, but I want the Velvet Underground. Yes, please.
My avatar is his sister, whose name is May or not be Schrodinger.
It's
May or
okay. No Schrödinger. Okay, it's may or may not be Schrodinger. Do you know the Schrodinger's cat experiment?
yeah, cat in a
Okay.
box, live and dead at the
Yes.
same
So,
time.
yep. Okay, that's the bad joke trying to happen.
Fake Louis Vuitton is hard to find. So Alibaba, downtown Los Angeles is like Mexico City and New York and like maybe Florida where you can buy bootleg anything. When I showed up to Oregon, I showed up wearing Orange County chopper glasses. People thought that they were like $150 pair of glasses. I paid $5 each for them in downtown LA because they were all imitation. It's LA. You can get anything you want from a bunch of things you don't. It's so true. Everything. The question remains unanswered. What question was that?
Schrodinger's cat.
Oh yeah, I know it. I know what it means. It makes me think of Stargate. There was a character who, when it was, I think it was Captain Carter. She named her cat Schrodinger. But yeah, in LA, in the garment district, you can buy fake anything. But like, I'm gonna say this. I'm scared to go down there. I'm gonna have to get like 6 goons just to go down there and like someone to watch the car. Or maybe I've been watching too much YouTube.
Hard to tell these days.
because there's I say it all the time, all the drag queens I watch, they brag about going down there, but they live in the area within walking distance. It's a little bit different when you can just walk down the street to it. Then you gotta, like me, I have to
Make a
find
trip.
parking. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe let's take a consensus. Have I been watching too much YouTube because I'm scared to go to downtown LA? And it's like the Fabric District is in the heart of downtown LA. I recently saw a man who made a suit out of fake Fendi, and I was like, oh, I want a fake Fendi suit.
Well, don't they? I mean, different places sell their dead stock. Is that what you're looking like? Or like knockoff? Because those are different, I guessing.
You're probably reasonably safe. I mean, I have delivered hamburger meat and other things to nature in the middle of the night in New York City, and I don't have any fear of anything. I used to live down there too. That's why I kind of feel like a wuss. I lived on 3rd and Loma, and I used to walk over to my job that was on 6th Street. Because I know it's quite bad down there. I agree. I want to take my son, but I wouldn't take my son. But I want him to have that experience.
It sounds like you need to do a drive-by pre-screen and see, and then decide if you want to get out in the car on the second trip.
True. I could bring like Marquette. I could bring some real people with me. Some scary dudes. I think y'all just got to rip off the Band-Aid and go down there. I agree. But I want to walk around with my camera. But like in LA, if you look like a tourist, you will get your shoes taken and your pride. My first housemate in Buffalo did makeup for local drag queens. I would sometimes help. That's awesome. Down here is one of the only places that I know where you can get a size 14 pump on Hollywood Boulevard. That place is still there too. That place is still there. But the Hollywood, I remember, is completely torn down because of gentrification.
Well, then, oh my God, I saw this morning that in New York State, they're trying to propose, or I don't know, somebody in New York's being dumb again, but that's not saying very much, that they want to have private individuals, you offer up their empty rooms for the new migrants.
I saw that.
That kind of sounds like, I'm going to go with Third Amendment, no undue quarterings, because that's kind of what that feels like.
I actually saw a town hall of people going off about that. I don't know how to feel about that because I'm pro-human, but like, there's got to be another there's got to be another way. I have a bunch of empty bodies, like old D3 and D4 Nikon bodies where I could put a camera inside of a camera. But I always wondered, like, there's a woman I watched that she rides her motorcycle all across Canada, but she also went to Mexico. She went to Sinaloa. She went to one of the most dangerous places on earth and rode right back and lived. And she went on desert trails out in the middle of the desert on drug trails and lived. So you never know. And she had a camera on her the whole time. And there was one time in Portland, I was taking a picture and I almost got in a fight with these two guys because they walked into my shot. So people are sketchy. And this was before Portland became what we consider Portland now.
The shit show that it is now.
No, it's sad. It's sad to watch because I lived in downtown LA 20 years ago and I had a great time. I literally learned to be a man down there. It taught me how to grow up, pay bills, go to work every day, you know.
Yeah, it feels as though kind of like the same in New York City, like things were bad in the 70s. They work hard to clean them up. Shit happened, and now they're like back 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Shut up. But
Well, New York is a perfect example because I watch a lot of stuff from the 70s, and New York was crazy.
It's just like that right now.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
getting
It's
back
gone.
into it.
If it's a completely voluntary program, I'm fine with it. Ireland had a similar program for Ukrainian refugees, and an Irish buddy of mine hosted a Ukrainian family. Thank you. That's my thing. But here in LA, like everybody needs a house. Housing is a crisis here. And on the border, like let's be real, right now in California, we have Ukrainian refugees on the border because of some law they can't come in California that are in Mexico. We have the Venezuelans that are there.
Oh,
I
the
watched.
Haitians.
Yes, the Haitians are still there. It's crazy right now on the American border. So we're not as shiny as we let on. And
Mm-mm.
if you get bored, look up Ukrainian refugees in Mexico. There is a large contingency of Ukrainian people trying to get into California, and they can't.
But we can ship money over there like we can just print cash on demand.
It's crazy. Crime statistics are funny things, right? You could have 1% of the crime of the worst days in the 1980s in New York, but if it goes up 2% then of an all-time high, people freak out because of the crime rate. You know what it is? I'm going to tell you honestly, no one cares until it happens to them. No one cared about violence in LA until it spilled off into my town.
Yeah.
Or no one cared about meth until everyone's kids started stealing everything. Every nation is conveying on the southern.
Yeah.
It's true though. It's true. Our laws have changed too. Crime statistics. If your eyes are like, can you read this? I need to get my glasses.
Yes. The crime statistics, if your eyes are like 4 in 100,000 of being a victim of a violent crime, and it goes up to 8 in 100,000 people, 8 and 100,000 people freak out, but it's basically out, but it's still very remote chance. Fair, unless you're the 4 people.
Before, I'm making spants.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
I was too busy crying about the Hobby Lobby lady. On to better news. I made giant spans. Hold on, let me get my CCTV angle because Kilroy has coined that. You know what it is, Dove? Is I'm in denial. I should have been wearing my glasses this entire time, but I'm so vain. I refuse to wear my glasses.
Stop it.
It's because I look like my brother. Let's be real.
Well, then just get different glasses. If that's really the issue, that's fixable.
I was in denial, and when I got my glasses, they're like, pick a frame. I walked up to the case. There was a display that said U.S. Army. I was like, I want those, and I walked away. So I have standard U.S. Army issue glasses. Sad but true.
It happens. It's a classic.
I wanted the see, I can read that. I'm trying to get used to them. I'm
Well, put your glasses on, stupid.
compared to even 20 years ago, crime is extremely low. And during the 50s, crime was extremely high, but people think it was super safe. People have no idea about the interpret statistics. Birth control glasses. Those are my other ones when I'm trying to be cool. Everybody all together, you look very handsome in your glass. Thank you. You know, honestly, it is an insecurity because every male in my family wears glasses. And it's the whole Urkel and Stefan Urkel kind of thing. So right here, I'm Stefan Urkel, and I'm showing my age. And right here, I'm Steve Urkel. God, I'm really showing my age. And if you got that, you're over 40 and you're going to need Tylenol tomorrow in the morning, probably. Or
yeah, no,
If you take off your glasses, it's Paladin. Okay, so I made spans, and where's my CCTV angle? I like that. This is like someone's this is the total like convenience store angle right here. But these are huge. These are humongous. And I'm going for the Janko style pants. I really am.
I know. I need. Okay, this is all I've got left to make a pair of pants like that. I think
Let
I should
me
try
I'm
because
gonna
I'm
make it
short.
big. There you go.
I've got this much left. Well, like a yard probably. But I already have a circle skirt, another top, plus the other top. So, yep, pants for a 4-piece outfit. But they'll be cute.
Oh, it's 5-1. It's not even interesting. That's the thing about sports. When it's a blowout, it's not interesting. Your pants are awesome.
Well, pants to be. They're not pants yet.
I gotta switch that angle. It messes with me.
They're yeah, but I think I'll just use my other pattern and just make them shorter because these are like the mid calf length.
All that camera angle needs is a cash register and a guy with a Glock. I agree. I'm addicted to watching CCTV videos. And I'm always like, what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen. Some scary dude is going to try to ruin someone's life. Those are awfully short to be so wide. I think I need to see them on. Well, I will be trying. I have to make the loops. So in the course of this stream, because we're only 33 minutes in, we've already talked about food. I've already complained.
There'll be more food, more complaining.
But I was thinking about like in the back, I'm thinking about making one big belt loop. Like just one big one. Because the pants are extremely baggy. But I'm making them like in the Janko giant jean shorts kind of way, you
Yes.
know?
Yep. I know. I prefer the full length pants, which is why I'm a little bummed that mine are going to be shorts. But it's such a thin, flowy fabric that it doesn't need to be like full pant length. That's what boots are for.
Your public is demanding to see your fabric.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna make you big again. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch from the Goodwill, some thrift store. But with what I've made out of it, let's see here, I must have had at least 4 yards, or in that ballpark.
That is like that is my language right there. May I please have 4 yards, ma'am?
I usually just get what's at the Goodwill, which is why I think I have 2 yards of this purpley 2-way stretch velour in this like burgundy color that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think I want with this lining, a like the corset hoodie, but in a stretchy, double-sided, not stretchy circle skirt dress thing. I have an idea and a sketch.
You score a lot at the Goodwill. Like I have to go to one store. Oh, awesome. And Waternay, you're not being demanding at all. I'm just
I will gladly show the fabric.
I'm just pumped up full of coffee and sarcasm today. I had to parent. And you know what's really funny? Do you know what's really funny? Like sometimes my son will like he'll be like, well, how does my mother feel about this? And I'm like, bro, your mother and I are the same person. That's why we can't be in the same room. And
we did this. It didn't end well.
And you know what? My ex-wife, she stood her ground and she agreed with me. We co-parented. Like we came together like Voltron today. I am so proud of my ex-wife.
Good.
We came together, we co-parented. We're both growing up.
Well, I mean, seriously, and that she has to practice at ×2 right now.
Oh, exactly. And she's getting ready for the other one. I am as well, Dove. I am as well. I'm a thrift store junkie. And that's why I was so shocked that the people at Hobby Lobby, like, you know me. Don't act like you don't know me. You know me. I am one of the only people I know that looks like me in my town. That wears a cowboy hat, that drives the big white truck. Like, you can see me coming 100 miles away.
And shops at Hobby Lobby like it's going out of style. Or used to.
Which one? What was the other one that went out of business? There was a fabric store that went out of business, and they're gonna go the same way. Thrift store junkie here too. Absolutely, Alibaba. Absolutely.
Well,
I have
that's how I score the best stuff because I went the past 2 weeks to Goodwill and there was nothing except for like some bias binding buttons. Like I don't have enough buttons and old needle pack.
I'm arguing with the person who has been squatting at my house during the pandemic. It's time for him to go, but he's being an entitled jerk. If you lived close, let me know. I could show up with some goons. So scared. That whole squatter thing makes my blood pressure go up. I collected snap buttons, Western shirts. That's awesome. That's I had a few. I had a good friend that his name was Mike O'Brien, but we called him MOB. And MOB, when he passed away, he willed all his Western clothes to me because we're the same size.
Aww.
He thought about me, and I still have all the shirts that he gave me. And because I was he didn't know that I was an atheist, but he knew I was like always reading about religion, and so he gave me all his Mormon books. So I know a lot more about the Mormon religion than I should.
Well, the best way to know what the other side thinks is to know their doctrine.
My blood pressure is pretty high right now. Might send you gas money for a round trip. I just need bail money. Western states thrift stores are nothing compared to Eastern states. I always thought about that. Now that's a trip. Now that's a YouTube video that I want to make. Godless Sewing does Dallas, and then does no, I don't want to go to Florida. Scares me. Godless Sewing does Atlanta.
Florida's not the worst place ever. It's just the bugs, like dinner size plate bugs.
Someone that I absolutely love and respect lives in Palm Beach. I think I have to look it up. She moved to wherever all the pretty people live.
Yeah. Okay, we do have a. Can I ask a question? Because I didn't know about this until this morning about these forest fires in Halifax up in Canada, which is like. More recently I've known about Canada having forest fires, but Halifax, that's weird. And then I saw this clip that made it seem like, did some plane purposefully set these things on fire and they're evacuating people? Like, what's going on?
I smelt a fire the other day and I was like, I am not ready for fire season. I
know it's still green here. That's why I can't understand about the east coast of Canada having a forest fire right now. Just does not compute. Does not compute.
I love that you got my reference, Waterne. I make extremely dated references.
Oh right, because Debbie ain't in the house tonight.
I say that in younger crowds, and it literally goes over people's heads.
Well, that may or may not be for the best. But
Huge fires here, huge forest fires in Halifax, northern Alberta, and Quebec near Ottawa. Dry in Halifax right now, unusual.
yeah.
The weather in general is on its arse.
I mean, it was thunderstorming here twice today. We don't have rain in June, and the grass is green. Like, what state do I live in summer?
It rained here today too. Last night, it started at 3 a.m. last night, and it's been raining off and on all day. That's why I'm still like wearing my. Usually this time of year, I only have a vest on, or I'm wearing like cut off sleeves because it's so hot in here. It's like it's unbearable in this room during the summer, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're gonna have the godless closet hour a couple Mondays from now. Oh man, it's been crazy around here lately. It's been extra
Yeah.
crazy. What else is there? Was something else in my phone. What else did I take? Oh, okay. So who's ready for the controversial dress that we've probably already seen? You probably know what I'm going to show. Let me go into Twitter first. Desert folks are stealing my rain. Absolutely, you can have it. I wish I could mail it to you.
What's this doing here? Thunder and the lightning is usually dry lightning and forest fires. I'm like, what's happening?
I wish I could mail it to you. All right, let me go to Twitter. I need to start posting on Twitter again. I promise I'll come back to Twitter. It's just Twitter is just is international waters, and I'm over it. And because I have a morbid fascination with crazy videos, it's my own fault. Okay. Could you please steal my snow later? We need the greenery.
No. Hard pass.
Twitter has been hurting my feelings lately, but I've amassed 3,000 something followers, so I have to feed the beast. But I'm over Twitter. I'm over it. And I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Nothing but drama. Like I brought drama in my life by downloading the Twitter app. I'm just telling the truth. I volunteered for drama.
Well, then it's your own fault, so it's kind of hard to let you get away with complaining about it.
It's a knife fight with a monkey in international waters. Absolutely, bloody globalists. Let me shake my fist a little bit more on that one. Okay.
Oh, but
did you hear about the Iranian? I think she's an Iranian model who wore the dress with the noose.
I have not heard about this one.
Okay. Well, let me see. Share.
What's new in fashion today?
This had people losing their brains. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it is a noose, but it's a knot. But I get it. But okay, is that the hill people are gonna die on?
Because I am obsessed with fashion and I'm on just the weirdest sites. I'm in the weirdest communities on YouTube because I'm all over the place. Like I'm in a woodworking community. I'm in a couple fashion blogger communities, and people were losing it over this. It's a dress.
Right?
Am I wrong?
No, it's a way to hold up your dress. I kind of like it. I mean, I think the brown color, the taupe color of the rope is a little like, but as a way to like hold your chesticles up with needing a thing to wrap around your neck if you're not going to have sleeves, you need a little structure there.
A lot of people she was trying to bring to light
awareness
of what's happening still to Iranian women right now, because the media comes in waves and people forget like, hey, like people, like there's real things going on right now, you know. And she really, and this was a week or two ago, like this is already come and gone, but people have lost it on it, you know.
Oh, that's so funny. I hadn't seen it yet. I mean, whatever.
Don't get hung on the chest, there's mortar. Do you know what's really funny? Whoever made that dress didn't go all the way up. I'm like, am I gonna get hosed if I start critiquing the dress?
I was like, what's the deal with the dress? I'm like, we're not anti-cleavage in this house.
No, not around here. Not on the Godless Sewing channel, no. And she's okay. I agree. She's making a political statement and looks great while doing it. Absolutely. What in today's world, people are so myopic. So what happens is we all have our spaces, and we have our spaces to have an opinion. But then we start putting people on trial. We don't know what she's been through in her life. She's come from a place that I couldn't even imagine.
Right?
I
I'm
tell my
never going
son,
to be an Iranian female.
yes. I tell my son all the time, like we are so fortunate. Even when like we'll be sitting at a restaurant or something, and I'll look at him and I'm like, bro, you have no idea how fortunate we are to just sit here and enjoy our lives in peace. And a lot of people forget about that, you know?
Hmm.
Oh, Twitter is awful.
No, but they did tell me what happened with that plane yesterday.
Oh, okay.
The Sonic. So there was that whatever, and it turns out it was a Cessna with 4 people on it, a mom, kids, related to some donor of Trump's, oddly enough. And it appeared that the pilot had some type of a medical event, and the plane, if you don't start to turn eventually, that it goes back to where it came from ish. And yeah, bad crash.
I have known 2 people to escape Iran walking through an obsidian desert, like razor blades. Most people die in it. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Does your son look ethnic? Do we have to have the talk? My son looks, he's a rented ethnic like me, or he looks like many different ethnicities. A lot of people think he's from Israel because of his hair. A lot of people think he's Iranian because, or they think he's Greek because when he gets a tan, he gets that like I have African ancestry tan.
And the hair.
Here's something to think about. For hundreds of thousands of years of human history, there was no such thing as a hot shower. We're so lucky living, even just right now. I think of so. I'm so glad you brought that up, Kilroy. Every time I look at an old timey picture, do you know what my first thought is? My first thought is, man, I bet they smelled so bad.
No, that's not true. There was still good smelling stuff. We know how to make tea, pomades and salves and use herbs like that. That is a modern day misconception. And well, it's your channel. There was the thing called the whore bath and a morning pot where you like
Oh
wash
yeah,
yourself.
I've done the whore bath in modern era. I'm not. I'm judging, not judging. I get that I have African ancestry tan, so many shades of foundation.
Right? You're like, and today, I think at that point you just, well, for most people, it's probably easier to just pick up one of the foundation, the kit that's got like 8 or 10 of them that are mostly in like, what shade, color block do I need to look in and just blend because nothing ever matches.
Yes, and I say this for this is how I actually end all arguments. That's my slam dunk right there. So don't ever get an argument with history about with me. I, I used to have to use a wash stand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I call that the Navy bath. When I was in my 20s, I did a lot of traveling, like in hostels. There's some places that there's one bathroom,
Hmm.
or they'll have like a couple bathrooms, but only one has a shower. Fortunately, I do the full face foundation look, makes things more forgiving.
That it very much does. I hate a liquid matte foundation. Like, give me some skincare and a powder foundation. That's my friend. And this light does me no favors right now, but my good camera is being pissy. Okay. Where did you go? Practice schmatas.
Oh man, that almost killed me. All right, so who's ready for the so in my thrifting this weekend, I bought a hockey jersey.
Oh,
Phoenix already knows what this
I know the
away.
punchline of this. It's
I was
good.
about to
It's
give
good.
it
Just wait
away.
till the end, folks.
Oh, it's worth it. This one's worth it. So if you're lurking and you're like, all right, I know people on the West Coast talk slow, but this one's worth it. So I went to the thrift store and I'm obsessed with hockey jerseys. Okay. I'm trying to branch out. I'm trying to add more red to my wardrobe because all I wear is black and blue because I grew up watching Snoop Dogg videos. Let's just be real. Okay. So all I have in my wardrobe is black and blue. So I've been throwing a ton of red into my wardrobe and more colors. So I saw this hockey jersey and I was like, oh, it's dank. I'm obsessed with hockey. I still skate. I have a stick. My Sherbrooks are right here.
All right, what is this?
I literally still have my hockey gloves from when I was a junior.
Okay.
These are old school Canadian gloves. So I'm obsessed with hockey. So I get the hockey jersey. I'm like, oh, it's awesome. I didn't check the insignia on the side. I didn't check the insignia on the side. So let me grab it so we can all laugh at me.
It's good. Prepare the giggles.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bought a jersey. I purchased a jersey that says cuck. Tell me that does not say cuck. Tell
No,
me that does not. There's no college. There's no college that's called cuck. There's no University of Cuck. I don't think so.
well, maybe that is it. That's the one.
So since you're still playing hockey, when are we getting a hockey fight on your channel? Oh man, I was in a hockey league. There's nothing uglier than watching two people who can't breathe get in a fist fight.
No, then it's just sad. That's like what? Well, like I could say all sorts of inappropriate things after that. That
Oh,
might get me
I
in
need
a
my
lot of
inhaler on
trouble.
that one. Oh, it was sad. That hockey league was sad because everybody was like, "Oh, we're wannabes." We all thought we were in the NHL. We were literally in a roller league in Palmdale. That makes me think of Molson. Was that what the cans used to look like, or they look like now?
I don't.
Captain Universal Sale. What is that?
Can't. Captain Universal Canadien. It might be a Canadian team.
Cuck as a K.
It
Oh, it
does.
does. It does. But the thing is, like, I typed in CUC and because I was looking because I'm dead to rights with Google Foo. Like, I will find anything on the internet if it exists. And this is a specialty. This is a special made jersey. I like it. I added a Diabolita patch on it. I'm gonna get a Calgary Flames patch right here, like a captain patch. I'm gonna play into it. But I bought a jersey that says Cuck. I found that college, by the way. Concordia University, Chicago. Oh, go Concordia.
And it's a Lutheran school. Oh god, the Lutherans are the cooks.
Oh, thank you, Kilroy. You actually made me feel better because I'm gonna look them up and send them a picture. Like your jerseys ended up in Southern California in a thrift store because there was a ton of them, and they I have the original price tag. I'll show you. It's hilarious. I'm thinking of the commercials. I'm gonna start making my own commercials. Kilroy suggested that a while ago, and I kind of agree. Like I need to start making my own commercials because YouTube is attacking my channel. Go, Cuck, go. Oh, I had a midlife crisis. Honestly, if Brunhilde didn't need surgery yesterday, I would have made a bigger deal about it.
I appreciate everybody who helped. And I have pictures. Maybe I'll use them as my thumbnail next week. Did I say I looked underneath the bottom parts of my new machine and I saw 3 layers of wiring. So yeah, there's no plugging that one in right now. But is there any special tools that I'm going to need for the untaking and putting back together that I don't have besides cord. If anybody has any ideas, please, that would be great. I was in a college society that had an abbreviation for a social disease. Unfortunate. Oh no.
See, but look how glorious this cuck jersey looks, though. It's glorious.
It is. I'm not
I'm
saying it's
wearing,
bad. It's just ironic or humorous.
I'm wearing my cuck jersey with pride.
Right? We're cut crowd around here.
And I'll refrain. We're not even an hour into it, and I'm already about to tell my story about the Germans. But I'll save that story for later.
Is that one of the red and black little box things that has a meter on the front? I might have one of those if that's what that piece is. Multimeter Chapman bits are nice. Yes, I hear about these ones, but I'm not trying to. Oh, I know everybody's like fallen into the addiction of what is sewing machine fixing, and I, in my brain, I'm stopping at this one. You guys are everybody's making it sound like that I'm just like stepping off the cliff.
Thank you, Waternay. Thank you. That's why I really like this jersey. Thank you very much. I saw some in a blog post about repairs, an electrical tester. Oh, if you live any closer, because I have meters and all kinds of fun stuff. Like Rumble Bumble, my nephew used to say that when he was like 8. The point, godless is Rumble, or even locals. Do you know what is locals?
So locals is they're owned by Rumble, but they're the free speech version of Patreon that doesn't host weirdos and kick off people for not having right speech.
Because I hear a lot of people talking about it, and there's this one guy I watch on Rumble whose content is so explicit. He's like, go to my locals, and I'm like, man, it's so explicit. You have to tell me to go to another site.
No, but so locals has got like that Patreon model. Like you can sign up and have a free account, or you can have like a 99-cent tier or a $5 tier. So it's really has that direct and some of the levels, like you can watch a live stream but you can't comment unless in the live chat unless you are a paying subscriber to that channel.
Crazy. There's just so many sites. There's so many sites. Like I'm on Odyssey. I'm on all kinds of fun stuff. But in Odyssey, I am under my real name. Because it made me sign in and I didn't realize. Because I thought it was under the Godless Sewing account, but I was on my work phone, so it's in my real name.
Oh, well, then maybe you should just close that out and start again.
Stopping at 1. That's what we all said at one time, Phoenix. Okay, so this kind of got me because I remember when I was at like 20, I remember thinking like, I wonder, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm done. I am not going to buy any more sewing machine. And I'm like kicking 100. I'm kicking 100's door. I'm like knocking the door at 100. I really need to count because I forget that there's 6 in this closet. No, there's 5 in this closet, and there's like 6 in the middle bedroom.
Oh God! Plus your grandma's that is missing.
I just have to find. Man, there's a. Oh, that's a different story for a different day. I know it's not missing. I know my cousins probably took it because they were pilfered through my grandmother's house. I never thought I would stop at one sewing machine. I lied to myself, Alibaba. I lied to myself all the time.
Well, but I don't know, from 2001 until, oh no, well, never mind. I rationalized my embroidery machine that does a different function than my other machines.
Do you know what? Gilroy brings up a really good point. There's too many sites because what's happening to YouTube is what happened to Netflix. When I found Netflix, Netflix was amazing. I could watch anything on Netflix, all my BBC shows. Then it broke up. Excuse me, and that's what's happening to YouTube. Do you know they're censoring a history channel I watch?
Yeah, it's just Netflix is getting out of, or not Netflix, YouTube, and the censorship. It's just too many moving goalposts. Everything feels weird.
Godless inquiring minds want to know, why did you choose a picture of Patton as the stream thumbnail? Um, because I was raised by people who were 40 years older than me. I'm addicted to older movies, and I have a VHS collection that I like. I'll rival anyone's VHS collection. I was watching it. I was watching it. That's why I'm obsessed with Sammy Davis Jr., Lucille Ball's whole career. Um, before, after, during Desi Arnaz. Like, I love old school movies. Doctor Strangelove is if you go back to my my videos, some of my original videos, my thumbnails are all from Doctor Strangelove. I'm just obsessed with when I watch those movies too. If you every single thing you look at, every detail, someone made it by hand. Or when they went on location, it was in the actual place,
Right.
They cared. They cared about details back then. And one of them all then said I have to keep them to pre 1900. Then I had to say no industrial anymore. Then had to limit to pre 1865. I'm like that too.
This is just the big. Okay, look, you folks have many years of.
Singer only. I have that. Everything you just said, Alibaba, that is literally the argument I have in my head. Kilroy, but sir, the Russians can see the board. But sir, I love Doctor Strangelove. Like, that's my movie. Oh, that's such a good movie.
Oh, but that's kind of funny, like what's going on now that the Ukraine is like, shh, don't talk about what we're doing on this interwebs. They might find us. Shh.
Man, we are in the modern man. Everyone's got a cell phone. This is modern warfare. Dudes are taking selfies on TikTok in the middle of a war zone. Like, we know what everyone's doing. You can't hide. This is modern. That was what made Netflix so good. Then the studios thought it was just the streaming and all the grabby instead of working together. It ruined it. I old school Netflix was amazing. Like, I cut the cord because of it, and I ended up buying cable again when everything broke up. Old school TV and movies is better in my opinion. The new stuff just doesn't have the attention to detail, or the attention to detail is wasted in places where it doesn't matter. I agree.
Yeah.
Dub, I have 3 guitars, an Ibanez G10, a custom Charvel, and a handle of. Oh, wow.
Everybody's too talented. I don't think like I'm talented enough to like be hanging out.
The dam just got blown in Ukraine. Very bad news. I stopped watching that stuff. It's depressing. It's like a fist fight back and forth. That's awesome. And Alibaba, thank you so much for letting me know that my Dean is actually worth something. I'm gonna put it back together. I'm gonna put it back together. You let me know that I had no idea that my 6-string banjo was actually worth something.
It's amazing to know people who know more things.
The next war will be fought with ones and zeros. I forgot who said that. That's happening right now. I didn't know about a dam in Ukraine. What does it getting blown up mean going forward? Does that mean like but here's the problem. We are so myopic. We have the ability to watch every inch of this war, so we really don't know what's going on.
No, and I think that it's propaganda on both sides, all sides. And I don't know how we have the money to keep funding all this shit.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Wag the Dog?
Maybe a long time ago.
It's with Dustin Hoffman. He fakes a war and puts it on television, and everybody believes it, and he literally changes policy because of it. And that's kind of like you know what? Before I give it away, everybody should go watch the movie Wag the Dog. It's a great movie. It's one of
No
those.
spoilers.
It's one of those forgotten. It's one of those forgotten movies. But what do I know? I'm literally wearing a Cuck jersey. Not over it. Not over it yet. Means no water for a fourth of the country. A tenth of the country will have no power, and everything downstream will flood. Over 200,000 will be new homeless by 12 noon. Over 200,000. That's insane.
That doesn't make any sense.
They just write it off. That's crazy. Well, in our country, we do give we still give money to Israel every, like, I think it's like $1 billion something a week, and we give money to India. In every country we've ever bombed, we still give money to.
Yeah, we need to. I think we need to become isolationists again for just a. We just need some time to reassess and reevaluate. Just like,
well, the problem with our country
border
is we have our tentacles around the world. Like we're fighting China for dominance in Africa, and most people don't even know it. Most people don't even know it.
There is all the mineral shenanigans going on in Africa.
And all the shipment that the Russian shipment that got caught coming out of South Africa. Well, really, we're trying to stop. I went off about this yesterday about how Gaddafi was trying to make unite Africa, and their currency would have destroyed all currency worldwide. Well, right now, Russia and China is basically doing that, and they're involving African countries who are mineral rich and don't need us. And if they involve Venezuela, Venezuela is swimming in oil.
Yep.
Even though their country is completely impoverished right now, they are like. Do you know who the number one producer in diesel oil in the world is?
Well, let's go with Venezuela.
Mexico.
Oh, darn it!
And Mexico isn't necessarily. They do not distribute the wealth properly. They're a second world country, and they don't have to be.
Right.
Is it Seinfeld writer that told me that the dam being blown? We're giving all this. We're giving all the shit we're giving to Ukraine as a loan, not as a gift. Eventually, they're going to have to pay back the loan. NATO controls a broke Ukraine while making it look like they don't. Oh, I was raised Roman Catholic. I was raised hardcore Roman Catholic.
He means the same thing.
like I still have to fight some of that indoctrination to this very day.
Like, didn't I just see or hear that Sweden is now a NATO member as of today?
I need to make belt loops for my spants.
I need to stop confusing myself with this Tucker.
I had plans on being productive. There was something else I was going to talk about, but I completely forgot because I got caught up in my my griping about Hobby Lobby, my Cuck jersey. Let me go to I take pictures of everything like I'm in Memento. Those are all the horrible memes I can't show on YouTube. YouTube has become so censored. There's a lot of things that I can no longer show on a stream.
Yeah, that's... YouTube is just getting crazy. Oh, here, I got one. Who wants to live in Apple's new $3,500 VR headset and never get off your butt again?
I'm actually dealing with VR addiction with my son.
Well, the new one hopefully outprices his ability to become indoctrinated.
You need to talk about the industrial Taylor or stronger machine. Yes, I do need to. I need to bite the bullet and buy a better machine. You know, Russia is committing a genocide, kidnapping children, raping women, destroying a whole bunch of things because they want to try to reconstruct the Soviet Empire. I agree with you. It's war crimes, McGee.
Oh my god.
I agree. That's why I sit at home and sew and make spants and wear jerseys that say "cuck" because the world's falling apart. It actually is quite depressing, to tell you the honest truth. I have to take a step back sometimes because it feels like the world's falling apart sometimes. So I definitely have to take a step back. Okay, so what as far as the Apple, why is Google constantly asking to use my location? You already tapped my phone, guy.
The answer is no. I do not consent.
um, the Apple headset, what is it about?
It's just like the Oculus, but it's Apple's version.
And the people in America who consistently bitching about communism somehow cheerleading the Red Army and the who parade sickles and hammers through Red Square. 401, they're like that. In 1979, they would hire and train kidnappers. We're equal opportunity love around here, Dove. Yeah, the algorithm will promote the most hideous, hate-filled garbage, but yet it won't let you do things in which I agree. That's my beef with Twitter. Twitter has become just a chum. Commander has to go now. Commander is commander of the fleet around here. That's my problem with Twitter. Twitter, it promotes all the hatred, everything, and it will not it stopped showing me my Star Trek stuff and like my geeky wrestling stuff. Like I got so geeky with Twitter. I was like, all right, I just want to see all wrestling news and Star Trek and like space stuff. And it slowly brought me back to fist fights and all the cartel stuff. I think it's because I'm on Spanish Twitter as well. And Spanish Twitter has no filters. And if you're wondering about that one, just go into your language and take the filters off. And then type in Spanish, and you'll be like, you will find a whole other universe on Twitter. It's all love around here. It's all love. This is the internet. We're all here just to pass the time.
Sew and complain.
Yeah.
Be nice while we do it.
Stitching and bitching is such a perfect way to explain it, though, because while I'm sewing, I'm like watching the news and I'm like, why did those people move here to commit crimes?
Right.
It's basically an Oculus, except for the front is semi-transparent, so it projects onto the real world just versus having a virtual world. It seems like they wanted to work with their other products too. Apple, it's funny you would say that. Today, my ex-wife sent me a text and it came on a phone and it came through on a phone that I pulled the SIM card out of. I pulled the SIM card. This is my old phone. This is my new phone. And when I got the text from my ex-wife, it came on both phones. That's how you know you're tapped. Hey, Mark, I was wondering where you were. I was missing you. Someday I could fly a TIE fighter from Star Wars while I drive to the store. Alibaba, my dream is an F-30. I want the F-301 from Stargate, their first Death Glider that they made. That's my dream. Things are going to get interesting in Is it Belgrade? The Chechens.
Yeah. Bro, the Chechens and Wagner and Russian army all hate each other, and they'll all be fighting each other for Volodov's favor. Yeah, that that is a very complicated stuff. I've been consulting the Duran and future conflict for my knowledge of those things, but yeah, between that and South Africa, like there's a whole bunch of really fucked up shit happening that Americans need to get out of our butts and like at least know a little bit about what's going on in the world, even though our country sucks monkey balls right now.
Oh, it's just, well, you know, the thing is, divide and conquer works. Everybody's mad about whatever sectarian little, what
Oh,
they're
no,
into.
it's true. It's Pride Month. You're marketing Pride to 2-year-olds and gender dysmorphia habits to 6-year-olds. Oh god. Okay.
Do you think it's because of the Wi-Fi though, Waternay? Because this phone was T-Mobile, Sprint T-Mobile, and this one is Verizon.
You can have Wi-Fi without the SIM card just taps you into the phone network, but if you have it set up for Wi-Fi, then you just are running off your Wi-Fi.
It's just kind of freakishly happened. They'll call back if it's important. That's a work phone. They'll call back, or I'll see the cops on the security camera at the job. A buddy of mine was a full-on Apple fanboy. If he got a text or a call on his iPhone, it would pop up on his iPads, Macs, Apple TV, everything. That's the problem with Apple technology. It happens sporadically in my house. So my pad, one of the reasons I even have it on is because I can't get any of my information off of it. Anytime I get a text, no matter where I am, it pops up on my iPad. When I leave my house or I go on trips, I take my pad with me because I don't want someone to like, if you're going to feed my cat, I don't want you to be able to read my my messages.
Yeah.
It's the strangest thing. I've learned from many thousands of war vets, this will degrade to the worst 8 months or less. Yeah, it's crazy time. It syncs with your stuff for convenience. It's so strange to me though. Apple does it involuntarily. So it'll and it's really random. And I own stuff from different eras of Apple, like literally from 2010 until now. And so it's strange how the technology interacts with each other. Yeah, they're gonna be fighting for they will. It's gonna be the new Afghanistan. So we need to all
but
fight
also
over.
for a really long time.
But
Divide and conquer weakens any organization. Even a winner doesn't win. War, for instance, is when that rhetoric fails. The politicians, no one wins war. Everyone loses. That is 100% true.
absolutely. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that as well. I have a ton of Apple products, and they're all like they all sink in, but I haven't taken my Chrome. What am I trying to spit out? I haven't taken my profile off of any of them, so I'm signed into every single machine. So it's crazy. Could always just install the iPad. I was thinking about taking it up to the hills and putting it out of its misery.
Or you could just do a factory reset and see what you can hack out of it.
True. Do you know at the local at our local shooting range, they'll let you put anything on the range.
I know. There's a axe throwing place not too far from me, and I kind of want to go axe throwing, like real bad.
Oh man, if you guys lived any closer, Isaiah and we go axe and knife throwing all the time at the ranch. It's a skill, and it works it's right.
It's your tricep exercise for sure.
Oh yeah. And the funny thing is, like, I was really into like knife and I was really into knife throwing, and then I saw a video of Jason Momoa showing how manly he is on his property, and he had all these tree stumps that he was throwing, that he was axe throwing, and I was like, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. So I did that at my job when I was bored one day. It's fun though. It is so fun.
Lumberjack. It's culturally appropriate for where I live in lumber country. These are like old, like the lumberjack sports where you like have to stand on the big log and balance and move it around. It's their traditional skills that they've turned into games.
Pendleton. In Pendleton, I went to the Pendleton Roundup, and they had all kinds of logging going on around there.
Because I'm a lumberjack and I don't care if you don't wear long hair. That's not the words to that song.
That's the one thing I miss about living in Oregon is like they had really fun rodeos out there. We have rodeos, but not like the huge ones they had. I went to the Pendleton Roundup. It's definitely shit on the. It's a bucket list kind of thing. If you're into roping and riding, it's a bucket
Okay.
list kind of thing. Because I've gone to Vegas to their
Mutton
stadium.
busting.
Yeah. But like I always say, when you visit California, it's a great place to visit, but don't forget to go home.
Right? Please, you can visit, but you're not welcome to stay.
I jokingly say, oh man, can you guys hear that? My neighbor's kid, I'm not trying to be mean or judgy, but he dropped out of college and I think he washed out of the Navy too. But I'm not trying to be judgy because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life either. But now he's fixing up his vehicle and he has discovered giant speakers.
Well, don't be a Karen. I don't think this is one where you can pull the Karen card.
Oh no, where I live, you could rattle the walls until 10:30 at night, 10 to 10. You could be as loud as you want. The more I learn about Oregon and Washington, the more I realize I'm an Easterner for life.
Here, I just
Hey,
hate
Skits.
snow and humidity.
How's camping, Skits? Speaking of axe throwing. I'm so jealous. When you started talking about camping, I was like, oh, I dusted off my tent. I went looking for all the sleeping bags. Excuse me. I used to do a lot of that back when my before my son became completely jaded by life. AKA became a teenager.
He'll get over it. You just make him go anyway, because isn't that what our parents did? You're like, you're gonna shut up and we're going. And you're gonna like it.
My pops did, and I'm grateful now because
Right?
I had experiences of like tooling around the valley with them and crummy trucks and like just great memories. Just great memories. Yay! My idea of camping is a hotel room. There's someone that I absolutely love that used to say that, and he bought a trailer. Got pushed back until tomorrow, chilling at my lady friend's place until we take off. Do you know, every time I hear lady friend, I think of the Big Lebowski. Oh, Commander, if you're still around, I pulled out a t-shirt and it made me think of it. Well, it didn't necessarily make me think of you, but it made me laugh. I forgot because I live in LA and I like go to thrift stores all the time. I have this oh, it's got dust on it because it's old. This is a Hollywood Christmas Parade t-shirt and I wear it as an undershirt.
You should wear that proudly as an overshirt and just get over yourself.
But look at the back.
Oh, Golden Age by L. Ron Hubbard. Oh, that's also pretty funny. Oh my god. I might have to like talk but not be on screen because I think I need to like Viking some food into my face real fast
don't worry.
here.
Don't worry. But the Church of Scientology owns Los Angeles. Best of both worlds, rest time and camping time. I enjoy camping. I do. I miss it. But like the worst thing I ever did was buy a boat because it made me hate camping. Because while everybody else was having a good time, I was worried about gas. I was worried about like, oh, did I get my stickers, my tags? Is everybody wearing a hey, there you are, Commander. Is everybody wearing their life vests? When I had the camper, it was different, but when I bought a boat, like it really made me hate camping in general. And honestly, of all the toys, I will never buy a boat again. I will even and part of me wants to move near the ocean. I'll never purchase a boat. I'll charter a boat if I really have to go out, or I'll just sit on the pier and fish. But I will never purchase a boat again, or anything that I have to buy tags for every year. Because like when I went to Yosemite, it was breathtaking, but I was camping like, out in nature, like an actual nature. When you have a boat, it is just, oh, I'll never buy a camper or a boat. Talk about a money vacuum. Campers are just as bad. I recently got rid of my pops' old camper. I got rid of my camper. They're the worst. And the worst thing about it, you have to have a place to store it. Okay. I did. We had the ranch, but mice took it over. Literally. Literally. They start living there because we're in their territory. And they start having babies in the vents. Like it was the worst. Absolute worst. A boat is a money pit. Same with an RV or camper. I learned that lesson the hard way. I learned that, and it wasn't until my mom actually got rid of my dad's and well sold it to a relative, but like never again. Never again. I've seen how they built campers too. They're so damn flimsy. The big bad wolf could knock them down. Do you know it's really funny you'd say that, Kilroy? It wasn't until Mythbusters came around did I see how flimsy campers were. And then the first time I saw something go through a camper, I was like, oh, that's made of what? It's the worst. It's the I miss Mythbusters before they got super famous and went off in their own little world.
It happens to all the best shows. Everything good gets ruined eventually.
Super ruined. And that was such a good show.
My Holman.
Have you ever owned a camper or an RV?
No. Just a tent.
It's funny. After all of that, I went out and bought really nice tents, canvas, like really nice ones, because I'm over all of it. I used to go camping all the time when I was a teenager. I'd take the boat up to the river along with a carton of beer and a bag of weed and sit there fishing, drinking, and smoking good times. I miss that. I miss that. Like when I was younger, I had a really good friend that like we would go fishing all the time. I miss that. My ex-wife's father owned 2 pontoon boats. He owned, I think it was 11 Sea-Doos, and I should have learned from him because every time we go out, he was stressed out. Oh, Andy owned like a 40-foot RV. He was
something that big.
What's that?
I couldn't park something that big.
He was a big rig driver and he owned a company, so he was used to like having things that were 70 feet long. And you sound like you're in the other room. Because I believe in trust but verify. Yeah.
I've neither confirmed nor denied those statements.
That's a solid yeah. I've always meant to buy an old horse trailer, turn it into a tiny home. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. 11 Sea-Doos? Okay, so he wasn't insane, but he would buy lockers. He's actually what got me hooked into buying lockers. I miss that man. He was no nonsense. He was all about making money. He was a true capitalist. Like he owned a trucking company. He would buy and sell massive items. He owned 2 fire trucks. He owned horses. He owned chickens. I walked into his barn and he had every tool known to man. Like it was, I strive to be like him. He was a hoarder's dream.
You are just differently.
Yeah, Kilroy. He owned 11 Sea-Doos, 2 pontoon boats as well. I was always too stoned to be stressed out. Well, it's because when I used to go camping, we'd have like 7 kids, 10 adults, and it became overwhelming after a while. I'm a human by all standards. I I'm Alibaba, please do not ever let that die. Please do
No,
not ever that I laugh. That makes my evening every time you tell the Neanderthal joke. I'm so jealous. Yeah, he owned 11 Sea-Doos. Yeah, he was actually I'm very much like him. He was a motorcycle enthusiast. The man fell off a cliff, fell 200 feet, and lived to tell the story. He was awesome. He actually lived in Central California in Stockton. And that's why he had enough space to own all of this crud. Pontoon boats are just an express ticket to getting a DUI. We would get wasted. That was in my drinking days. We would get hammered on the pontoon boat. But it's different. Like we would go to Comanche Lake and they didn't care. It's different in Central California. In Southern California, they care. Or in Havasu, I went to Havasu one time. I'll never go again unless I'm not on a bike. I'll go in a car. I will go in a car. I will never go on a boat or a bike because it's just asking for trouble. Have you ever been to Havasu or any like party lakes like that, Phoenix?
I was at Lake Mead once a gajillion years ago, if that counts.
That counts. It counts. Me totally counts. I was going to get a Trumpy houseboat from 1919. It was part sunk and free for me if I floated it. Could have been a $250,000 collector dollar boat if I took it. Just couldn't get down there in time. I want to go magnet fishing so bad. I have the equipment. Saved myself a lot of work and money.
Yeah.
Hey, butterfly. We haven't solved the world's problems yet. We're still wallowing in them.
Yeah.
And I'm still crying about the Cuck jersey a day later.
But at least you know the school.
It looks good though. Like, and that's my thing. I was gonna buy the other jersey, but it had Notre Dame colors. Because I was raised Roman Catholic, it's just too much PTSD for me. So I won't wear anything Notre Dame just because they used to always tell me when I was a kid, oh, you're into sports, you should watch Notre Dame. And I did because propaganda works.
Yep.
My grandfather would watch Notre Dame and he went to USC and he was a Notre Dame fan because he was Catholic. It's crazy. And he went to the University of Southern California.
I know. Well, it's the same as the Army-Navy battle in the sports as well. But that's
True.
even worse, I think.
I agree. Try any backgammon.
Ooh.
Why don't they? I get down. We play backgammon and bocce ball at my job. I'll shock you. And we have a bocce ball court at my job. I'll shock you. When we went on a cruise and I saw a bocce ball court, I was like, "Ooh, I'm about to make some friends right now." Have you ever been on a cruise before?
No. That's not. I've been on a cruise around a lake, but not like a multi-day international waters event.
I haven't had a drink in forever, and I have not gone on a cruise since I sobered up. So I would love to go without having the need to drink alcohol. I didn't know you could play online. I play euchre online and I play Texas Hold'em, not for money though. I'm just practicing for the day I go back to Vegas.
Right, because online gambling just as bad as in-person gambling for money. Don't do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also England is having such trouble. They're trying to outlaw it because when I lived in Oregon, Northern Oregon started slowly being bought up by payday loan places. So they slowly started saying, you guys can't be here anymore because you own half of the state. And that's what's happening with these gambling places is that it's an addiction like anything else. I talk about it all the time. I had a heavy gambling addiction up until 2020, and I stopped. Like it's when my asshole father kicked the bucket, I finally got my old 14 boat back. Unfortunately, minus the motor. I need to sell one of my other boats to buy another 300 horsepower Yamaha for it. Oh, Mark, if you lived any closer, I could hook you up with a Yamaha real quick. But you live in Australia.
Yeah, those are expensive shipping costs.
Alexa, how far is Australia from Los Angeles?
Los Angeles is 8,148 miles from Australia as the crow flies.
That's far. Well, I always go by the scale of the East Coast because it's 3,000 miles to the East Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my scale of how far things are. So Mark is like two and a half Americas away from.
Yes, it's a layover in Hawaii and then some more, so it's like 24 plus hours ish in an airplane. Who's taking a crow?
I've always wondered about what as the crow flies, who measured that? Did somebody put a meter on a crow?
They just mean without having the roads. Like we've got passes. Like if you just went west from where I am to the ocean, it's like an hour. But by the
Yeah.
way the road really goes, it's like 2.5.
My grandparents used to play Texas Hold'em and they were so competitive they kept score. I still have their when my my grandfather passed away first, so when my grandma passed away, I still have some of their scorecards. When mean they kept score, like they kept score from 1970 on.
Oh my god!
They were competitive.
And hoarders to like keep the records of like I won this many games, you asshole.
They were like, and I'm not kidding, they were like 5,000 something something to 6,000 something something. Like they did not play. And my grandma counted cards. I'd watch them. I would watch them. She was a card shark. I found a sunk 12-foot aluminum and put a small trolling motor on it, powered by 3 batteries and that and an emergency lighting system, emergency lighting system. I would charge with a normal car battery charger. That's awesome. I refuse to play online games like that. For some reason, I attract assholes who just want to get easy wins against beginners. Same. That's what happened to me when I started playing euchre online. Like, I had to learn what groups to go into and what groups to avoid. That seems reasonable to get a boat going. Absolutely, Alibaba. I see. I want to live somewhere where I can find a boat underwater. I want to go move there, but they won't. Actually, I have a good job. I bet Canada would take me. I don't have any felonies. Australia. I applied to live in Australia, and they're still begging me to live there. They're
All right.
still begging me to live there. You just have to have a certain amount. Basically, let's be real. Okay, like immigration in the Western world, you have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account, and they'll take you in any country. I could move to the UK right now. I could move anywhere. You have to be able to prove that you could live there and sustain yourself without working.
Right, without being on their social welfare plans.
Exactly. You like so if you have a certain amount of money, they'll let you walk right in their country. It's sad but true. I played to win, but I'm not a sore winner nor a sore loser. It depends on the situation. I'm an obnoxious winner. It depends on the situation. Cheapest running boat I ever heard of was mine. I have an app I play euchre on. We've probably played each other. I'm addicted to playing euchre. I am addicted to playing euchre. You can take an engine too. I feel like that with my generators. No, well, not necessarily my generators. Like I have like 6 of these air tanks. I have 7 of the small ones. Like there's certain things where I need to start selling them. Sewing machines, it's all relative though. Like in this room, where's my CCTV camera? In this room, there's probably like 80 something sewing machines.
And they're
70.
hidden mostly very well.
Yeah. Let's do a godless reveal, huh?
The walk of shame of sewing machines.
All right, let me make myself big. So we could play I Spy, okay? But every single one of these tables has a sewing machine inside of it.
As well as the one on top. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, at least 20 in the shot.
I'm crazy. And there's more hidden behind the flags. I'm gonna expose myself. The sewing machines, get your mind out of the gutter. I know an old guy that collects tractors. Oh wow, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be soapy me one day. Oh, I need to start wearing my glasses more. They do take up a ton of space. I have a 17-footer. Wow. Do you know, like, my truck is 25 feet long. I don't think people realize how big that is. All right, let's look behind the flags.
Or I forgot to count those. I couldn't count those ones to see them.
I forgot. I completely forgot. I have a naked thief in there. I'm going to grab it. So I know Alibaba knows what a thief is. I think it's thief. Is it thief?
We'll find out. All right, let's see what word are we bringing out. Yeah, that looks pretty naked.
Yeah, this thing. I forgot about this. I love going behind the curtains. Sewing machines in here, they're like brand new to me. Oh, I forgot about this. It's not a FOF, it's an imitation FOF. When I got it, it still had the European plugs and everything, and I tried to convert it, and I basically broke it. Well, I didn't break it. It just now runs on the American, the European motors pull more is what I'm trying to stutter and stammer out, and so I brought the power down on this machine. But I have the body somewhere around here. Let me go get the body. I'm just not saying it right because I'm a non-European. And I can barely pronounce anything in English. I don't think it's a FOF. It's a thief. I made a video about it. Or maybe it's just based. Okay, I'm gonna look and embarrass myself again. Hold on, let me go look. It's a little less than half the length of the trailer or tractor trailer. The biggest single trailer you can have on the road as far as lights goes on a special permit is 53 feet. I knew someone that had a 40-foot trailer and then they would tow a pontoon boat behind that. It's 53 feet without special permission.
A Freya. Ooh, I got one of those. I mean, a cat.
Look like the white and gray, but hard to see fully. Show us again. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the hold on, let me there's a bloke out west of here that has a tractor wrecking yard. Wow, and he also has a collection of about 2,000 tractors. I'm jealous. In a massive shed. In a shed? Out here we have a place, it's called You Pick 'em Parts, and it's thousands of cars just out in the open, and you pay a flat fee and you can go on and rip off any part of the car. So that's what I'm
Oh,
picturing
the
something.
best thrift stores ever. All right, we're digging behind the curtains. What are we getting out? Nothing out. I think we've lost him. But that purple on that coat, super cute. Oh, that's a good question. If
Here
you
we
take them
go.
all out for drives, or you just keep all those tractors to look at, because
It's
how
a
do you have enough
fifth.
petrol? A
It,
fifth?
so I don't know if it's a bootleg FOF, but I got this at my local Goodwill, and I made a video because I brought it home. I was all excited, and I went to plug it in, and it had the European plugs. I felt like such a knob
A
because
noob.
I didn't check. Flat
Yeah.
out, I just didn't check, and I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you sewing?" Like, because I'm really detail oriented, actually. But I went through this weird feverish state when I first started collecting sewing machines. Anytime I saw a sewing machine, I'd buy it.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
And so I have a fleet of parts.
Here.
Some of the first ones are just parts, but this one actually still works. And I keep it out for Bill Nye the Science Guy kind of reaction. Wow, Alibaba! I want to take a picture of this. A sewing machine that you've never heard of.
Right, yeah, that like never happened. I think this might be a first in sewing history.
Let me get the machine. It's a European machine, and this thing is actually a beast because it's powerful. Excuse me. This thing is an absolute beast. I've taken quite a few parts off of it, as you can tell. But once it's going, this thing is a beast. Oh, I didn't think about that. Water name. Let me see if there is another. It just has a standard European sewing motor on it. But I didn't think if it has I've really Frankenstein that thing. I've taken parts off. Have a great night, Dove. Have a great night. Do you know I never thought about it could be something else. But it was something I had never heard of, so I ran to buy it. He couldn't take them all out to drive. They're packed in like sardines. Oh, that's crazy. That still would be like machinist heaven though, Mark. Like, oh, I love places like that because I love spare parts. Like even on my 88, I always am adding parts on that thing. I'm like, oh, this fell off an old truck. I can put it on mine. Is that a retailer logo or something on that machine? I looked and I could not find one. The front cover has no markings on it except for the stitches. I'll look for the back cover. I kind of also behind that curtain is a sewing machine graveyard.
With spare parts.
There's also a naked serger in there. I haven't had luck with sergers. Like, let's be real. Sergers and I do not get along because I'm so ADD. It takes me forever to thread those stupid things.
Well,
And
that's
then
why you're supposed to just keep it threaded, but I don't know how to barely sew with mine, but I can rethread it.
I can do it, but it's just they seem like it's a chore. It's just a chore.
It is, and you know what, too, honestly, I would prefer to do a French or a flat felled seam. I think it looks nicer.
Yes.
And feels nicer. So
I'm justifying not using a serger, but if someone gave me a serger, I would turn it right on and try again. It's just I haven't I'm on my 4th serger. Everyone who's seen my videos know I combined 3 sergers to make one.
Right, the Franken-serger.
Like, and it still works. I still use it on major projects because I don't like things being frayed. You know, like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Skits the oh, I must be in the wrong place. I thought this was the Donna's cuckolding channel. It's still early.
Fair.
We haven't gone full Elvis yet. Oh, autocorrect and I are
Auto
not.
incorrect. Oh, that's funny.
It is auto incorrect. Yay, butterfly! Yay! I'm in love with spans. I feel a new phase coming on. I've graduated from I've made so many coats. I'm like Columbo.
Yeah. Right. You could do a coat of the month, a coat of the day of the month. No, one coat every day for 30 days and not repeat a coat probably.
Yeah. I get ridiculous with that stinking pattern. You know what's so funny? Patterns are actually kind of expensive. So when I purchased that when I purchased the patterns, I'm always like, man, these are kind of expensive. I got my money off of that pattern.
That is good. I know I'm like over ready-made patterns, but it's hard to be shaped like a short hourglass with a narrow weight. Like I have to do so much alterations. I get blah.
I found designs that were made for people like me who have a long torso. Like that's the whole turn on for me wearing hockey jerseys is because they hang. I have an oddly shaped body, and so because my body is so oblong, that's why I started making my own clothes.
Yeah.
That vest could do you well, I think. It's time. I like the Hawaiian shirt idea for that one pattern. My dad totally had one of them like that. I'm totally going to do that. I really like the Hawaiian with the flamenco. I like that. Because no, I watched Miami Vice.
Well, I would say who didn't, but I know people haven't.
So like it's still like what I'm trying to say is like I like wearing things that are from the 70s, from the 60s, but the 80s are fresh to me. Like I was there in the late 80s. I was there. I remember.
No, but that's when we go back to do the 80s does 40s look, which is kind of where you're like leaning into a little bit subconsciously.
Well, I like that look, but like because I was there, I remember how cheesy it was.
But
Do you know
the
what?
80s does 40s was not horrible. You're thinking of like the neon 80s.
Yeah, that's true. I do dress like a 1980s biker. My dad used to always say that. He's like, bro, you need to come out of this era.
No.
20 years later, I'm still dressing like that. Do you know what's really funny, Butterfly? Finding my Baby Lock sewing machine. I bought this Baby Lock for $24 and I use it for everything now. This was one of the biggest scores. So if I find anything Baby Lock, I will jump on it because it's a quality product.
Yeah, I beg to differ.
It's just for my understanding.
Mine I fight with, and I agree, Ellie. You need to do your own patterns for sure. You don't understand your measurements, and some people are like, I like a 3-inch ease, and I'm like, it needs to fit over my corset with like some waist reduction. Not that I've got a corset that waist reduces me right now because I'm a like McMuffin shaped, but I need to know what I'm making for.
I go up and down with the dad bod depending on what kind of holidays are going on, what kind of year it is. From like after Halloween on, it's full dad bod until February. I love Hawaiian shirts as well. I have a really weird collection of clothes, says the man who literally has a room dedicated to clothes. Oh, Butterfly, now you make like I've had luck with Baby Lock, but I'm the guy that buys most stuff refurbished. But I'm so glad that you brought up that thing though the other day about the Juki sergers, because still to this day I kind of regret not buying them, but they could have been used a bajillion times because they were industrial sergers.
Right? They've been loved and well used.
And if they're in a thrift store, because Ventura is always good for the antiques, because all of my 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s singers that I bought in Ventura, I got for $40, $50. I bought my 1950s singer with the table for $45.
Water Nate, tell me, I would like to hear your customer service experience plus how you feel about that linen, because I've been trolling that place because I was going to buy a bolt, but it's $150 and you get free shipping, in their discount section has some cute black linens right now. And I'm like, I could buy $150 worth of stuff for free shipping. But I'd like a good review first. So I'm going to hold off. And I don't need fabric, but I want linen.
I know, like I need another thing to throw my credit card at. You're welcome, Butterfly. Always looking to convert people to the way of backgammon. Those prices in Ventura would be 2 or 3 times more expensive now. Hey, Sydney. Do you know, I really wonder about that, because ever since I got pulled over by the Ventura County, by the CHP, I have not gone back because they hurt my pride. They stuck me for $6,000. I
Yeah,
thought it
that's
was
just
5.
ridiculous. But you can jaywalk and like get yourself like off for being stupid.
But because I'm arrogant, I got $6,000. They stuck because, and another thing, they couldn't bust me for anything, and so they got me for $6,000. They towed my car and everything. That kind of killed my going to Ventura career. And I guarantee you, they noticed people stopped buying sewing machines, because on Main Street in Ventura, they have just rows and rows and rows of thrift stores. How's your evening going, Sydney? I do miss going. Like, I'm gonna go back because it's beach season. On this episode of Chips, watch a sewing addict get pulled over. I made a video about it. I took a bunch of pictures too, and if you go back, it's oh, what video is it? But I'm like I was really nonchalant about it. I was so mad. I was purple. I was so mad. I was like on fire inside. Yay! Hey, skids. Yeah, they pulled me over. That day was horrible though. I should learn. I was in this feverish thing about buying sewing machines back in the day. Now that I have a giant collection, I'm a little bit more calm.
Yeah. You're like, do I have room for another piece of furniture or another dud?
I don't. And so that's the thing. Now, if it's a dud, I walk past it. I'll take a picture of it. I'm grown up, I swear. Oh, are you sunburnt, Sydney? I'm okay. It's been actually a very exciting a week here in the House of Sewing, but you got to keep going, as the saying goes. They have different types of grades of linen. Make sure that you get the kind that you want. They're pretty good with descriptions and answering people's questions. And if you don't like it, you can send it back.
Awesome.
I order a ton of stuff online. I'm tactile though, like with the fabric, I want to go and touch it and look at it and walk around.
Yeah,
And
I am very. I like to like fondle my fabrics.
I do a lot of this in the fabric section, a lot of this, a lot of like, what can I do with this? And I'm like visualizing what I'm gonna make. Like when I saw this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make something tonight with
Yeah.
this. I'm walking with the bolt. Like I'm gonna sew something this evening with this thing. If you get stuff in the doggy bag section, it's a good way to try some and see what you think. Oh, that's not
That's
a
kind
bad
of what
idea.
I was thinking on their like sales section, because I was like, oh, like half a yard for $5 or something fancier for 15 for almost a yard, and I know I can get something out of that that's wearable because I have real estate and it doesn't matter. I know I can use that much.
I bought linen from that store. It was really nice. I washed and dried it at least 3 times. My neighbor does ice dyeing with the same company's linen. It's beautiful. What's ice dyeing?
Ooh, it's where you either take your dye and put the powders on your fabric according to the instructions and then put ice on it on top of it and add more dye. It's a fun way of dyeing, and that's good to know also because I was considering just getting like, what do they sell their bolts for, like 20 yards for whatever the quality, and just having it plain so I can dye it myself, or I just get black because black goes with everything.
I have the same problem, Sydney. I love the pool. It's an addiction. I'm not super experienced with it, but I've been happy so far. Made a sort of shirtwaist inspired pirate shirt. I'm all here for the pirate. Oh, speaking of which, let me stop my stop cam.
All right, we have movement again.
What?
No, and groaning.
I'm just old. I slept wrong and I displaced my shoulder. And I'm like, oh, I'm old. Oh, I'm old. My cat looks handsome that big.
That is a handsome cat.
Aww.
It's like my Loki without the Loki's marked differently, but similar and floofy and like you would love me.
Aw. So this I want to make something out of this, but like I have a ton of this. I have 4 yards, but it's stretchy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a rugby jersey or something, like 90s style. That's what I commented earlier on the video.
No, I know, but I have a ton of material.
And that would just be really funny and ironic, I think.
But I've seen a million dresses made out of this, and when I walk through the fabric, I'm like, oh, I know where they got the material now. I know a lot of people who make their own clothes. I'm actually part of the I make my own clothes crowd in Southern California. It's an eclectic group of people.
Yeah. Well, as all sewers should be are.
No, Sydney, he's older than the hills. I did watch them form. I was there.
He was friends with Chavis.
Yeah, I miss those days when it was nothing but togas and sandals. I miss those days.
And camels.
Camels are, if you think horses smell bad.
Well, better than camel toes.
Okay. You stopped me from saying what I was about to say, because that would have been an even dirtier joke.
Oh, goodness.
You so stopped me from saying what I was going to say.
A 20s men's swimsuit singlet, one piece. That would be super adorable. Now I want one.
I want one too so bad. I might do that. But ever since I made my man onesie, like there are certain body parts that like, okay. Has everyone seen the Fresh Prince of Bel episode where Will Smith has to go back to elementary school, and then he has to wear the big flower suit? Oh, okay.
Oh, with the green stem and the daisy with your face comes out the middle.
There's a reason why his middle was covered, because he had green tights on.
Oh,
I don't wear really
Photoshop that. We can green screen that as big as we want.
There's a reason why, like, I don't wear really tight stuff. Like, I'm not a banana smuggler kind of guy.
A budgie smuggler. Yeah, that's what they call them.
Around here, we call them banana smugglers.
They're for the budgies.
I actually, excuse me, I actually got that from wrestling. There was one time Triple H looks at Shawn Michaels and he's like, you know, the 90s are over, right? You can stop wearing those banana smugglers. It stuck with me. I've been saying it for 20 years now.
Oh, we've got fights over puffy sleeved pirate shirts going on right now.
So how do we feel about about the Seinfeld shirt? I would wear pirate clothes. I would bring them back.
As long as the cuff is tight, I don't completely hate it. But I think I like a short sleeve version better than the full length sleeve.
I love the puppy. Yeah. So you want full length with the long sleeves and no short sleeves?
No, I like the short sleeve better. I mean, it needs to be nipped in at the. It needs. It can't have a bell sleeve because I don't like my sleeves getting in my food.
Oh, I didn't think about it either. It's a pet peeve. When my sleeves get wet, I'm so annoyed.
Right, so I like a 3/4 or like a short sleeve because then it can't happen. Oh, dance belts. That would work with onesies.
Oh yeah, a giant belt. I was thinking
Um,
about getting one of those old WWF belts.
yeah.
I would wear a puppy shirt. I would. It was a tight cut off with 4 pewter buttons on it.
Ooh, that sounds beautiful.
I would wear a pirate shirt version.
Yeah, I think that's on my make list. That's why, yeah, here I have been on pining for linen for a while.
I've been shamed into working out because I've been talking about being a Power Ranger for the past couple of years.
Right, and you can't be a McFatty.
No, you not in something that revealing. It's not morphin time when you're when you got dad bod.
Right. Then you have to like forget that you got dad bod and go into costuming and foam stuff. Ooh, cuff to 3/4 length. That does sound perfect.
I because I watch a lot of drag queen stuff. I'm not into padding. I'm not. I'm not a padding kind of guy. I'm not. I don't judge anyone who does padding, but I'm not trying to lie to people about my body.
Yeah, fair. Good. We have to be more honest with what we can actually present.
You get what you got, you know. Like,
Right. This is the best you got, kid.
oh, that's true, Alibaba. That is true. That's not what dance belt is. I still just want a giant WWF belt. That's
Oh, ties would be cute too.
the Seinfeld shirt was just history. That shirt was glorious. I just looked up the puppy shirt from Seinfeld. That's a shirt now. Oh, they sell it now? Oh, I have to look that up. Do you
Well,
know
it's probably on like some fast fashion site with crappy construction. Just make your own. You're better than this.
I've said that. I've said this before. I identify with the Big Lebowski. It is my movie. That is like. I hope they play the soundtrack at my funeral. Let's just put it that way.
Well, you better write it down in your directives.
And long story short, I'm addicted to pretzels. I took my son to the mall. We went to the mall. We got pretzels. We went upstairs. We were walking around, and they had a Big Lebowski store at my local mall. And I was
Oh,
like,
you said this.
why? Everything was. It was just too commercial for me. It hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It just totally hurt. Who shamed you into working out?
No, okay. Being able to work out is a privilege and not a punishment.
That is true. I work with a lot of people who are on wheelchairs.
And they can still I just watched the Toronto Pro Show. They had included the men's wheelchair division. You can be differently abled and still be super buff.
That gym that I do my skating in, we have tournaments, basketball tournaments, wheelchair tournaments in there.
Yep.
So I'm all about it. But the
Better
illusion of clothes and expecting everyone to have perfect body. No, I'm not anti padding at all. I watch a ton of drag queen stuff. I'm not anti it. It's just I would never wear
Padding's gone
pads.
way back before that. In the Victorian times, they had like the ratio measurements, and you either like filled out your tatas, filled out your hips, cinched in your waist. It was all illusions. Clothing is
True.
all illusion.
Yeah, Gilroy, they sell every outfit he wore, every outfit. And it was unreal to me because I walked in and in the windows were the sweaters. Was the bathrobe on one side and his sweater on the other, and you could buy both.
Ooh, I made a chef's shirt / work shirt from the 1880s. It had ties for the cuffs and a button for the work covered like an apron sort of, and side ties. Ooh, that sounds fun. I mean, striving to be healthy is good, but having a body shape going in and out of fashion is ridiculous. Yeah, that
You know, I'll tell you one of the reasons I'm so hardcore about it is because I've accepted my body. And so I've accepted it for what it is, and I work on it within my parameters. I don't try to push myself too much. I'm not trying to be buff anymore because I was the guy who always had an 8-pack, and I'm over it. I'm just over it.
oh, you've got trauma from gym class. I think it's finding what you enjoy doing. Like, not everybody likes to run or bicycle or jump rope, but like, I really love hula hooping. That's, if I'm a hoarder of a lot of things right now, I might have like 35 hula hoops. But it keeps me engaged, and I get some cardio most days and like to learn tricks. It's like sewing, but with hoops.
I should put that down. Oh man, sometimes that punches back. I lost hearing out of my ear.
Okay, where's my the McDowell drafting machine that shows the measurements? Yeah, because it's yes.
Wow.
I don't know. I like the Hasselbach or whatever ones where you have to use their like special tape measure things. Those feel like hard to, not easily accessible when you can read the manual, but you don't have the most important part to make it work yet. An 8-pack, you say?
This was me in 2019, before 2020. I gained 50 pounds after this. We have now entered the thirst trap part of the
I was gonna say the same thing. And the milkshakes are in the backyard, boys.
And ironically, I took that in my backyard.
Oh, I am getting niggled on.
Because I was raised Roman Catholic. I still hide my shame. This was in my backyard.
No, Kilroy, I have to disagree. 35 hula hoops and 2 sewing machines, that should be 35 sewing machines and 2 hula hoops. If I do 4 and 5 hoop tricks that need all hoops the same size, and just because you only see 2 does not mean there's not a Serger, a 2001 Kenmore, and a Baby Lock Sophia that you've never seen before. There's more. Don't worry.
One of us. You're already in the fleet. You don't even know.
I know. I'm just a junior captain. I'm not like the 5-star general right now. I'm like Lieutenant Phoenix of the Sewing Machine Guild. Oh, it's built into the drafting machine. Oh, that's right. Because
wow,
a machine means you've got this thing. I'm gonna have to look this up because I just look at drafting books. Why not 35 of both? Oh, stop taunting the heart. This Waternay is speaking my language now.
I live by that. If you love something and it's a healthy habit, why not?
It keeps me out of trouble most days.
There's somebody that I don't talk to anymore, but every time I bought a sewing machine, I would send them a picture and say, still cheaper than drugs. Every time. It is true. It's a healthy habit. And that was the whole reason I put that in for my stream last night, because I absorbed so much negative content online. Like, having a hobby has saved my life. Yeah. It has legitimately reminded me to have direction. because I'm all over the place, but having a hobby has kept me grounded, and I haven't lost my place because I've watched people completely change online when they get a few followers and become somebody else. No, I'm still the same shrub who can barely speak English, smoking and
Exactly.
sewing.
I appreciate the whole 30, 55 YouTube and 35 Rumble followers who are just like, and I can only be me because it's too complicated to have different personas.
It's too hard. God, as you remember in me, I am no longer a size 2. Where's my I've gained I still look good. It's just I don't care to like I worked really hard to have a beach body, and then I would go stand on the beach for people to oogle over me. Like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it. I no longer need the approval of strangers in that way.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Their body and body dysmorphia goes in all different types of direction. Like I can't like for me, I wasn't buff enough, or I was too skinny, or I was too like, you know what I'm saying? And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm okay with who I am.
Right, because you have to just be good enough for yourself. You can't, it's not sustainable to try to be good enough for others.
No, no way. That's why I say about ham radio. I want to buy a $1,300 radio, and I'm just telling myself it's not an old car or a boat. Why not? Why not? I have all kinds of fun stuff in here that I go crazy over. Oh, I know why people are keep on clicking on and off because they can see this on YouTube on the thumbnail when they're following when they're
Oh,
when
that's
they're
right, because YouTube is like, now if you're live streaming, they like pull out your clips instead of just your thumbnail, so they think this is a thirst trap stream and not just a stitching bitch.
There's actually someone on YouTube that their channel's Thirst Trap Boys, and they have thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers. And he actually looks like someone I grew up with. You know what? My hobbies have saved me from trouble, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I watch people go down this rabbit hole of they keep on having to one up themselves, and they get edgier and edgier and edgier. And it's like, bro, I subscribe to you because you do woodworking. I don't care about your politics.
Right. Just show me the saw, man. Just show me the saw.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. Having realistic perception of oneself is hard. I still thought I was a little plump at that size. I was crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, body
I
dysmorphia is real, which we
Yes.
could go down to this whole other tangent if we choose to, but you can't chop off perfectly good body parts because your brain is kind of screwed up for a while. You got to sit with yourself and get over it, kids.
But like I tell my son, it's okay. Like it's almost normal to like not be okay with your body, but it's abnormal to do abstract things to it. Like it's so none of us, you know, I've been saying this, I say this to him all the time. There's short people want to be tall, tall people want to be short. It's if
Where the
skinny
grass
people
is always greener.
like I was 170 pounds forever, and I'm like, I just want to gain weight.
Oh, Haley, you are so. I love your ears. Yes, I was fondling around in my presser feed again.
Have a great night, Butterfly. It was good seeing you as always.
Good night, honey.
We'll still be here. I'm doing my Elvis. The coffee's kicking in.
I'm gonna have to hit the little sewing room in a second here, but I'll be back. Actually, I'm just gonna do that now since I mentioned it. BRB.
Okay. I totally get it. Oh, that was perfect timing. You couldn't do that twice. Have a great night, Butterfly. Oh, I can hear young Mr. Sewing screaming at somebody on the Oculus. You know, I completely forgot that I hooked up my old camera. So when I turned around and I saw my reflection. It kind of creeped me out for a second. But I have my old Stringer Panasonic camera. It's obsolete by today's standards, but I just can't let it go. So I hook it up to a television. It's still working after all these years. And that's really sad. Something from 2012 is already antiquated. I should grab the other half of my sandwich from the fridge. Oh, you reminded me. I still have half a pastrami sandwich sitting on the counter, probably, because we live like pirates around here. Speaking of pirates, I need to take everything off of this desk and I need to finish the project in which that I started. I am still shocked that I stumped Alibaba. I'm still shocked. And when I got this was a European sewing machine. So I'm shocked that you've never heard of it. I still think this is a bootleg FOF. Like this is like some company trying to rip it off, but it's a extremely powerful machine. And every time I take it out, now I have that song cemented in my head. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And no, I can't sing or dance, but I attempt to do both all the time. That's why I put dancing in my videos, because it's okay to be goofy. It's okay. Are you kidding me? I still listen to Guy. If I hear Groove Me, I will get out of my seat and start dancing. If you put on Full Force, I'll dance like I'm in the movie House Party. I will show my age real quick. And I'm addicted to pastrami, but the older I get, I can't eat it as much as I used to.
Yes,
So
please. I just saw pastrami and it called me in like I couldn't even turn my camera on, and I was like, yes, pastrami with dill pickles.
We went off earlier. We went to the Greasy Spoon. Thank you, Waternay. Thank you. I go off. I still dance like it's the 90s. I go off. I still do the Dougie. I go off. Do you know what's really funny? You'd say that, Kilroy. The 90s was all about, like the early bright colors 90. It was about being a goof.
Yeah, you're like, please come look at me.
I watch a lot of old MTV videos still, and it's funny when I see videos that came out in the 90s, and I'm like, I've never heard of this band. But they were much happier before this young man from Seattle destroyed rock and roll.
What, you mean Pearl Jam?
Kurt Cobain.
I know. I was just being.
Okay. But I won't even lie. I am a Pearl Jam stan. Like, people talk trash about Metallica. That's fine. This is a safe space for Pearl Jam fans. I love Pearl Jam.
Soundgarden and pastrami and dill, or the Montreal smoked meat and a dill. Yes. I just ate. Stop making me. I have no room in my tiny belly.
I know. That's why I purposely went off before the stream so I wouldn't be so hungry. Do you know, Waternay? I was offended. This is why TikTok hurts my feelings, because a generation will take something and they'll be wrong. When they started doing the Running Man challenge, first off, it wasn't even a Running Man song. And second, I'm still mad, and that challenge is come and gone, and most people don't even know what I'm talking about. That was one of the reasons I downloaded TikTok and I got rid of it. I felt like a creeper. I'm in my 40s, and I started scrolling TikTok, and I'm like, I could be these people's parents. So that took me off TikTok real fast. I don't like pickles on my pastrami sandwich. I love the hot mustard that smacks in your face. Oh, I could taste it. I'm hungry.
Why have less when you can have all?
The reason, exactly. See, Alibaba and I were pre-gaming. We were pre-gaming.
I started cooking, but it takes 45 minutes to pressure cook short ribs, and
those sound so good.
It was good.
Kilroy, TikTok is so awful that not even my son will participate. I asked him, why'd you erase your TikTok? And he was like, it's just bad, man. It's bad. There was nowhere near. Thank you. It was nowhere near the Running Man. An entire generation offended me. I was like, y'all don't even know what you're talking about, kids. Like, if it's not a Hammer song, if it's not Bobby Brown, you're not doing the Running Man. Now I have Bobby Brown stuck in my head. Hey Joe, how's it going? How's it going? Utah Saints Running Man dance song.
Utah Saints. Oh, the Utah. Oh, I have not thought about the Utah Saints in a hot minute. And yes, short ribs are mean. I had to put my fat girl dress on today.
Hey Joe, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. We're still going. I was joking earlier with somebody today that TikTok is the brain melter 2000. TikTok is I hate saying like, oh, it's a creeper site or this or that. Man, it's a creeper site. I'm sorry. Excuse me. And you know what? Someone I respect is on TikTok. I absolutely love the Afro-humanist. I love her. I think she's an amazing human being. So you can do work on TikTok. Like she has a channel. She debates Africans about religion. I watch her stuff on YouTube that she posts about her TikTok stuff. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. But when TikTok just isn't for me. I didn't see.
No, but I don't love short form content. That's why we like hang out for 8 hours a week and do 2 4-hour live sets.
Exactly.
It's not my type of brain candy.
No. And like you sit there and it's like 30-second video, 30-second video. That's conditioning you to something.
It is, and I'm not satisfied. I refuse. It's why I put up with Rumble's growing pains.
True. I lasted a week on TikTok and I got rid of it.
Yeah, and the tracking and all the other nonsense.
So Raina, it's so
She's
Raina.
cute.
Yeah, she's on YouTube, isn't she?
She is, but I don't think long form is her foray. I think she came up from the short form world.
There's a couple of people that I'm subscribed to. They're like, "Oh, if you're here, you probably saw me on TikTok," and I'm like, "No, you just and you popped up on my, you popped up on my thread."
Right, but yeah, there is a I'm gonna forget the fancy word. A cadre that is moved into long form that grew up in short form.
Oh, I get what you guys are saying. I'm not a TikTok person. It's just one less thing to stress. I'm subscribed to Hulu, to like you name it, I have it. I'm even subscribed to Odyssey.
Right. If YouTube is not satisfying my needs, I've got other streaming station platforms.
I like to sit back with my coffee or whatever I'm eating and watch 25+ minute videos. With that
Yep.
short stuff, I can't even take a bite before it's even. I'm the same way. I'm like rolling. I'm sitting in here doing stuff. When I say rolling, I mean joints, not on ecstasy.
No, I feel the same way when I'm like getting ready to sit for a meal. I'm like a 10-minute YouTube. I'm like, you're not long enough. I'm gonna have to like stop halfway through my meal and pick something else out, and that makes me mad.
That's how I fall into these crowds because they talk. Like that's why I love live streams. Because there's certain crowds, like there's this one crowd I've fallen into. They're extremely intelligent, but they know they are. But I like it because they do 4 or 5 hour streams. So I can put my phone down and walk around the house.
Right.
Like do laundry. I can and when I'm at work, I put them on the big speaker. Like any even when I rewatch streams, I put them on the big speakers at my job. So you're piping through 10 speakers. And you know what? Like, I say this all the time. I'm over 40. Like, so I'm not here judging anyone. It's just TikTok is the brain melter 2000. I am so stealing that, Gilroy. I just made a connection. We've all basically just talk radio addicts, except the talk radios on YouTube. I'll tell you straight out, when I was a kid, I was addicted to talk radio. That's how I found Dr. Demento.
That's funny because I never would have considered myself I didn't listen to talk radio. I just listened to music or I was practicing music. So I had a lot of music.
I was an absolute talk radio. I listened to Howard Stern until all the way until he was off of radio.
Right, because now you have to hit him up on Sirius or whatever he's streaming from.
I paid for it. I'm crazy.
Speaking of streaming, did you hear about this creator on Spotify? What is she, a black sports reporter? Maybe, I don't know. My details are all wrong. But she wanted to try to negotiate like a tiny creator, and she's like, I want you to give me like $1 million like you gave Joe Rogan or 10 million, whatever it is. And they were like, yeah, no, sorry. You don't pull in Joe Rogan numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to have that kind of numbers to get that kind of sponsors. Waterne, I will subscribe because I need new content and I love peaceful stuff. I watch a bunch of Japanese YouTubers and I do not speak Japanese, but they speak like this and it puts me out. I'm so stoked that Dr. Demento made it all the way to Canada. Dr. Demento was he would broadcast from his house, which is like 20 minutes from my house. Oh, that's like the late 70s. Yeah, Dr. Demento was around forever. Who else? I used to listen to George Norrie. George Norrie is still on. And even though I'm a nihilist atheist, I still listen to Coast to Coast. Still, I'm subscribed. He dyes his hair. He needs to accept the fact that he's gray.
Just shush up. Sometimes we can color our hair and be blue-haired, but not be a weirdo blue-haired.
Joe, ask any question and anyone here can answer it as far as sewing goes.
Please bring on your questions.
Please.
There may or may not be answers or education.
And we're here to help each other too.
Right. Take advice at your own risk, but I've done very well with the advice and recommendations.
I'm like 10 years behind you, Alibaba, and I grew up with Dr. Demento. Dr. Demento was like my parents were like, you can't watch Beavis and Butthead, you can't listen to Demento, and I did both.
I don't think my parents understood what I was watching when I was little, or they did and didn't care. Like, I can't complain either way, though.
Kilroy, I fall asleep to a lot of stuff, so I like peaceful channels. I know what you're saying.
I like to listen to people reading or having maybe uploaded CDs of people reading Terry Pratchett novels because they're usually at least 8 to 10 hours. And if my phone doesn't die, I can't say I've actually read any of those books, but they've kept me asleep for many hours.
See, Kilroy I listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, Phoenix, and he puts me out. I still haven't finished his book. I haven't finished his book, and like I've listened to it probably 30 times when I fall asleep.
I don't consider books I fall asleep to as books on my like Goodreads read list.
No,
they don't make the cut. What I've read.
I don't even make it. But when he starts talking about his college experience, I'm like, by the time he met Carl Sagan, I'm like, heard this a million times. I'm out. Like.
You should start mixing up which page you start on so you can maybe hear a little bit more.
Exactly. Absolutely, Joe. We are here for you. Heck yes, kids. Space Ghost. Do you know what's really funny? If at first Instagram wouldn't let me use Godless Sewing as a handle. So I was gonna my name was gonna be West Coast Space Ghost. But they eventually let me use Godless Sewing, and I'm glad because West Coast Space Ghost is a long-ass title. But I loved Space Ghost. There's a podcast, Dracula. They're staging and airing the letters and journal entries as they happen in the book. Ooh. I also fall asleep to a lot of like old timey news radio.
Yes, or the like the CBS Mystery Hour.
Yes, yes. I'm
Yes,
totally subscribed to that. You and I watch the same stuff. You and I watch
or we fall asleep to the same stuff
exactly.
sometimes.
I passed out to that, especially when they have like it's like the calm room with the fire in the background. Out, I'm out. I need that stuff because I drink pounds of coffee during the day.
I can't drink that much coffee.
I need noise to go to sleep on the top or one. Will you please read that? I gotta go to the toilet. Sorry.
I need. It's okay. Killer Ray says they need noise to go to sleep. So on top of 1 or 2 fans, I'll have Seinfeld or MASH or one of my British shows on the TV, and then I can go to sleep. Yeah, the white noise, and I don't know, there's something about being talked to while I sleep that I find very therapeutic, which I don't know. It sounds like, amongst others, it's not weird, but I wonder sometimes about us. Yes, Sydney, for me, skits, we all know Star Trek TNG is the superior show to fall asleep to. Haven't tried to fall asleep to that one. Joe says Inner Sanctum, an old radio show. Oh, will have to check that one out. Sydney says skits. No. Waternay. Oh my wow, that would keep me awake all night. Killer Ray. What? For me. Oh, Waternay is not someone who can sleep with that much stuff. Some people I know need earplugs and cannot hear people snoring, and it makes them crazy. Oh, you get twitchy with white noises. It's if you have misophonia, things like that are the worst things ever. And if you don't, you're like, bring on the sensory auditory overstimulation, or leave all of it at home. And I can't. Don't just be shush up and let me sleep with my earplugs in.
Because I grew up in Los Angeles next to a freeway, I need noise. When I first moved away and I was out in the country, it drove me insane of how quiet the world is at night. Like, I need city noises. The worst ever, though, is when I lived in Sandy, Oregon. That was my first real touch of living in the woods. I'll never forget. I went to go throw out the trash. I put a flashlight because I could see eyeballs, and there was just deer. And they were just staring at me. We were both kind of looking at each other like, oh, what do we do next? And they were quiet. I watch all that stuff. Ooh.
No, but this is the best suggestion yet. And do we know the status? Because didn't they have a archive.org is copyright lawsuit stuff about their book lending? I don't know if I've seen any updates in that case in a while, but you can listen to all of them. That would be many nights of attempting to sleep. I know there's so many great, or I can't vet their greatness, but their collection of sewing, drafting, drawing for historical garments, like the croquis and not croquis, but sketches. Their knitting and crochet stuff. It is quite the collection of printed and other types of literature.
Sorry. When I was 22 or 3, I was drinking with my friends. We were in Long Beach, Washington.
The beach on that place is one of the top 10 on the West Coast I've ever been to.
I had the time of my life. Like, I would recommend it. It's to a Californian. That's what I picture. Like beach towns. That's how beach towns should be. Because our beach towns are crazy. You have to be really rich to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, right. And that's not a that's
Not
a
in
rich
Long
community.
Beach. Long story short, I walked up to a moose, drunk. And my friends were so paralyzed, scared they wouldn't come and grab me because they're like, get over here. And the thing didn't trample me. It felt my stupidity. Because I was drunk, I walked right up to it. I would not recommend that. I would not. Coyotes. We have, oh man, it's so bad here. You can legally shoot coyotes in California now.
What's their reasoning this time?
Overpopulation, and they're killing everyone. Everyone owns a little dog here. Everyone. Like, this is the land of Chihuahuas, terriers, like tiny little burrito-sized dogs. And the coyotes are like, thank you for the snack. and they go after cats. I've been following that suit very closely. It's definitely in the wrong. They've been pissy about it. And if they lose like they should, it'll only affect a part of their operations.
Okay, so is this kind of like the American version of Kim.com? The old books will still be there. Yes. Ooh, the patent office has the master list. You can look up all the patterns they made and they show the draft. Okay, U.S. Patent Office.
Okay, so I'm telling you, Waternate, it felt my stupidity. I'd never seen anything that large outside of a zoo. I'm 5'9". I could have walked underneath it. I had never seen an animal that massive. I was like Mr. Burns drunk.
No, I was scared in the car when we drove through the parks where the elks, and there was like 30 or 40 elks. I'm like, nope, if we have an interaction, it's between you, me, and the car. I'm not getting, no, we're going to enjoy, take our pictures, and we're driving on the cast.
My Oregon and Washington experience was unique. I had some times in Oregon and Washington. 1790 to 1873.
Ooh, those are some nice dates you got there.
Have you ever walked up to an animal like that? Have you ever been to like a safari park or anything?
Well, I mean, when I was little at the circus, I think at one point we had a picture where we sat on the elephant. So I had experience with big animals, but not like that. No, I'm scared of dogs. They make me uncomfortable, and I've learned and trained that you need to have a healthy respect, and if you do stupid things out in the wild, you might get asked bad questions, you might get bad answers.
I am so much more cautious in my old age. Ever since my car accident, I'm not curious about things at all anymore.
Right.
You get hurt, it'll teach you a lesson,
It always did. Oh, that's interesting. Archive was saying they were just being librarians when actual libraries conduct their digital book lending in a radically different manner than archive.org does. Yeah, I heard that's what the problem was with their new stuff since like 2020 or whenever the world decided to go insane.
Hard to get perspective from photos. I think people don't realize how big those moose are. I just found out another YouTuber I follow is 6'4". That's like someone I used to stream with. He said he had this really deep voice, and I was like, "How tall are you?" He's like, "I'm 5'2", and he was in his 30s. I said, "What?" And everybody made a big deal. I didn't. I was shocked because he sounded like he was 6 feet tall, and yeah, and because of spatial perception, where he placed his computer, he looked huge.
Right? I look huge too. No, I'm not, but
Spatial perception works. It does. I had a moose and rut sneak right up to me while I was camping and brushing my teeth at the creek. It pissed upstream, telling me he was mad. And I looked up. Oh my gosh! I
Oh
was
God.
terrified instantly and backed out.
Yeah.
They're massive. They're
Yeah, I
massive.
know. Thanks for letting me know that this was not. I shouldn't be here at the side of the creek.
I had never seen anything that big outside of a zoo. I was drunk. Like that's one of the reasons I quit drinking because I'm fearless when I drink. And not like I don't want to fight people. I want to do stupid things. I get inspired when I'm drunk. Around here, the biggest wild animals are roos and emus, and they will gut you with one kick.
Seriously.
I've seen video. That's my Twitter of people fighting kangaroos to save their dogs. That is my Twitter.
I don't know. I think the emu scares me more than the kangaroo does. If I had to pick between a scary Australian animals.
I used to look at parkour videos and think they were cool. Now I'm like, bro, you're gonna break something and blow out your ACL out, give yourself a concussion, stop it. I'm like that with people who jump over buildings, who do parkour over like in New York over buildings. It gives me anxiety. It just absolutely gives me anxiety. Largest moose I saw was 1 foot hoof wide and a four eagle edge and a Ford Edge could drive under it. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm 5'9". That thing was humongous. Old and gray hair, never got killed hunting it and lasted until 3 years ago. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, the genetics on that moose passed on. Those moose babies are gonna like have learned some shit over time.
Fuzzy, fluffy, and deadly. They're beautiful too. My brother lived in Montana, and all of his friends would laugh at me because I'm so West Coast. And I'd go wandering in the woods with no vest or weapon, and they were like, "You're crazy." So here's my issue. I've just watched a video Godless made about pants with big legs, like bell bottoms, and I want to create pants for when I ride my Harley. I want flag pants. Okay. So what I did is I cut my jeans at the knee and I added more jeans in it. Let me see. I might have maybe give to the
Okay.
closet like Batman.
Closet.
Let
Closet time.
me go get my bell bottom.
Oh, okay, let's see here. We're gonna come back around to that question. Store is one of the few parkour groups I can watch. They're not so reckless, but still jumping around on tall things. I don't know. I mean, I did aerial silks, and well, between being having strong enough and not being terrified enough to climb to the ring, I'm not a give me ground circus. I'm not an aerialist. Did I ever read B&B? I don't think of the classic folk stories. That's what I read. But I did have Grimm's and the Hans Christian Andersen collections. I wonder where those are because I missed them.
Oh, bam, man.
I
That's
watched the movie. It was bad enough.
I remember being a kid and looking at my mom like, why did you bring me here? Why did you bring me? Have you ever seen Fox and the Hound? Within the first 5 seconds, it's a sad movie.
Oh, I'd already read the book. I watched the movie afterwards, but I think that came out after I read the book, so I already knew what was going to happen.
There's a thrift store here called Out of the Closet. I just want some extra flag and the material below the knees. Okay,
So
so
that's easier.
bell bottoms were actually made for motorcycles. But okay, so let me make myself big. With these particular jeans, I cut them at the knee. The roos are more dangerous because the big males want to fight.
Oh, okay.
And you can't shoot them. That's an American kind of question. I know, but you can't. Like in America, if it's bigger than us, we're scared of it.
Fair. It's like, come on.
I was wondering. I was like, what the hell is that? Now I know. Okay. So I made these a while ago, but all I did was cut at the knee. So let me turn them inside out because I hand sewed these ones.
Oh, because he had to go to the closet to get his jeans, so that's where these
I
and out of the
all I
closet.
did all I did was cut up to the knee, and then I just added a triangle piece on it, and it magically becomes bell bottoms.
Or
So
technically considered a gore that you added.
you know I'm a pirate. If it looks good, it's a whatchama do, and I call it a whatchama gig.
Right.
But I still wear these, and these things have held up over the years too, because they're coming up. They're coming up on 2 or 3 years old because I made that video almost 2 years ago, which is crazy. But bell bottoms are awesome. So I cut all the way up to the knee, and then I shaped, and I didn't even cut in a perfect triangle. I just get the denim to where it's covering it completely, and then I just start sewing.
Oh, and you just opened your seams. Oh no.
I had a deer wreck of 2 cars. You know, shit about deer, and Bambi is not as.
No, that's
I'll
called
eat.
dinner.
Didn't he say he was going back to the closet, not in the closet?
Back to the closet.
People who actually live in their closet annoy me, actually. I'm kidding. Come to the dark side. We have cookies, cakes, and tests. Speaking of
Garlic.
out of the closet in LA, you get a free HIV rapid test because LA is lit. I just opened the side seams. I did. I just cut all the way up to both knees, and I just added the same or thicker material. I'm my black bell bottoms are better. My Janko jeans, I cut all the way up to the very top, and I took a piece of the jeans out and I made them humongous. The cuts are hard for me to see small frame. Let me make myself big again. Can't legally shoot them unless they're attacking you or you have a permit. I can see that because I always gripe about having to get a fishing license, but if anybody could fish, then there would be no fish. I still think it's wrong, but I'm old school American where I used to walk to the lake with a fishing pole like Opie. Now I just have the Andy Griffith song stuck in my head. Now that there's anything wrong with that. Cookies. I do have cookie bars. I was stress baking. I sometimes I think I'm like pre-diabetic, so I keep snacks everywhere. Sometimes I think I just have diabetes.
You're
Laugh
just
out loud.
addicted to snacks.
There are groups here that will send you a free HIV test in the mail, and they pad the mailing envelope with condoms. Oh my gosh, they do the same thing here at the LGBTQIA plus center. I actually told this joke, and it's true. Any interaction you have at that center, they give you condoms. You could walk in and be a tourist and be like, "Hey, can I use your bathroom?" They're like, "Sure," but there's a bowl of condoms here. Hey, I'm lost. Here, take some condoms.
Well, they're very impassioned about making sure everybody has enough condoms.
Oh, they literally have a bowl of condoms in the effing lobby.
Well, sometimes you like to grab your condoms in public.
Can I cut? Can I cut one seam on each side, or do I have to cut? Okay, so you could cut one side, but I cut both, and it gives it the complete round, dramatic look. And and you have to add material.
Right. The more you add, the bigger they will be. The more you add, the bigger they'll be.
Exactly. Because I've seen like what Waterne is saying is exactly how I would describe it. Because I've seen people that only put the flares on one side, and that's half a bell. That's not a full bell bottom. That's half a bell.
You just wanted the baby bell.
Mine are ridiculous. Like I flared on both sides, and they stick out.
I concur with this. If you're gonna do just one, do the outside, not the inside, because it looks
Absolutely.
weird on the inside.
Well, if you do it on the inside, you're just kicking it as you're
That's
walking.
right. You just trip yourself, and that's no fun.
When I think of bell bottoms on motorcycles, it reminds me of like Easy Rider and all the 1970s footage.
And Evil Knievel, yes.
You get, you'll get even more Evil Knievel. Does anyone remember Super Dave?
I don't know about this one.
He was a bootleg wannabe Evil Knievel. He was on Saturday morning cartoons. He would constantly crash. Roos are stupid. They'll jump straight in front of a car at every opportunity. Oh, they sound like deer. I don't even know how many I've hit over the years. But do they destroy your vehicle? Like deers murder vehicles.
I'm gonna go with yes. They're so big. I think we think they're little but I think I'm gonna go with yes.
At the LA Zoo, they have a depressed Roo that's my size. I've stood face to face with behind the glass. Isaiah and I go every year to the zoo. It's a family tradition.
Oh, this is good. Allie like large bell bottoms and moon boots. In here for it.
That reminds me. Let me see if I can find a picture of those boots. I want those boots. I keep on talking about them. Let's have a talk. Let me get a picture. Make sure I didn't dunk that in my coffee.
Is this going to be one of these like fancy goth giant boots companies that I can't afford that look beautiful but don't look like they're going to hold up?
No, they're like this new weird Astro boot craze, where you look like an anime character.
If you want a bell but not a huge one, I'd do a smaller gore, but I would still do both sides. Yes, I also concur with this suggestion from Modern Day. Because if you want a little piece, you use little triangle. If you want a huge floofy flare, you cut a bigger, wider one. And you want it looks nicer if it's symmetrical. Or if you're like, I'm just testing the waters, do like a 3-inch bottom or cut the bottom of your triangle that you're going to insert like 3 inches and then just make it or some amount. But you can.
Everybody knows my secret now. I'm a hunting pecker, but I can type at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Okay.
Oh, let's see here. I'm thinking I only want at half a bell so the extra material on the inside doesn't catch on my pegs.
True.
Yes.
That's very true. I'm dramatic. I like the full crazy bell look. And the bell bottoms have made a comeback. In the past couple of years, people in many African American circles, there was a guy who wore bell bottoms at an award show, and it sparked this huge controversy, and it brought him back. And he's like, they're just elegant and blah blah blah. He looked like Popeye to me. Because he had on a blue turtleneck with white bell bottoms. He looked like he was in the 1970s Navy. It's literally what they used to wear. Super Dave got his start on Bizarre. I grew up watching Super Dave. I loved Super Dave. I actually saw him in person. He was promoting a local channel. Roos are big and jacked. They are. They're literally in the brush doing push-ups. What is that? Flu vlog? I know. I'm the
Let
same.
me just look.
Okay, so share screen. I'm such a boomer. I was raised by boomers. This is embarrassing. Okay, can you see that? Oh, they're only $25. Uh-oh.
Oh, is this these trendy boot? No, these are.
Uh-oh.
Those look
Where's images?
gross.
Where's images? They're only $25. Okay,
It
so
doesn't
people
matter.
do
They're
look like geeks.
disgusting.
Why am I? Can you see that? Or okay, you can't
Yeah,
see that.
we can see. Do
Let me
not
see.
do. No.
Where's the wrappers? Hold on. I need moon boots. Who was wearing? Oh, Corey LeRae was wearing them. And I know I'm old and I shouldn't know who she is.
You shouldn't know who these shoes. These are like clown shoes, but made disgusting.
It's because I'm addicted to Black Twitter. Because Black people have fashion. I'm addicted to Black Twitter. Let's see if Corey LeRae pops up, and she doesn't. But anyways, I want red moon boots. Oh, Fuvang made the boots for Star Trek Discovery. Are those the hoof boots? Yeah, roos make a mess of a car. Most people have a bull bar. Okay, I have a cow catcher in my truck. I have a huge bar on my truck. Oh, that's funny. Those velvet suits Silk Sonic wore for smoking. Oh, okay. I might get those ridiculous boots. I might spend $25 and get those crazy boots. Hold on, let me make myself big. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's no.
I thought they were expensive for some reason. I can afford.
Well, here's the boots I would want that made the brief, but are definitely not that cheap.
If you put them in the Twitter group, I could put it up.
Okay.
Then I'm officially a professional YouTuber at that point. Someone I know taught me how to do that. Oh god, Blue made the boots for Star Trek Discovery. Glad you like them. Oh, that's funny. I want those Astro boots, but they're total they're trendy geek boots. But it's because people have brought back Jinko pants. Those red boots are only suitable if you're trying to cosplay a cartoon character. It reminds me of every overpaid rapper that there is. I think that's my morbid fascination with this younger generation is because they're so overpaid. Like Rakim never got millions and billions. Like these guys get millions and millions and millions. Let me see if I can.
Or a clown. You could do a clown, but then you'd still need to widen the toe box. But that would be a good place to get started.
Let me see if I.
Okay, thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Joe. You have more or less confirmed what I was thinking for my flag pants. I want fire and flame pants also. You can have as many as you want, honey. Look at, what about those boots? Are way cuter. They're not the ones I was actually thinking of, but they're close.
I'd wear those. I had a pair of what I called Matrix boots that were like that. I'd wear those. Those are dank.
They're cute.
They're expensive.
Yeah, I was I see yours. I raise you a 0.
Holy cow. I want those, but I don't even know if I could walk in those moon boots because I'm born goofy.
They're not even worth $25 for something that you're going to be like, are you actually ever going to really wear them? Or is it like, I want them because they're ridiculous?
Yes.
Are you going to be the Red Power Ranger? Then I might be able to give you a pass, but if not, then no.
I'm going to laugh though if I get them and they fit because I wear size 13 and a half shoe. I'm a hobbit. I'm a real life hobbit. Like I have a giant foot. So I'm going to laugh if they look like they're out of a ketamine trip. So fun fact, the people who wear them probably are on a gang of Molly or ketamine. So
which is no reflection to anybody here on the panel or the audience.
I didn't even know these things existed. And well, there's certain drugs that the younger generation take that I didn't even know were around because I was too busy minding my own business. I just found 1970s disco moon boots. Wow, memory. Oh, wow. Like walking on a cloud. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, we're not impulse shopping tonight, folks. This is not a shopping stream. Put
Well,
your
for
credit cards
25
away.
$25. I thought they were like, let me look on Amazon because Amazon will tell the truth. And this phone is so old, it doesn't even charge properly. Oh, poor guy.
See, I'm afraid to make shoes. I mean, I made my trapeze boots, but those aren't shoes. But leather chucks. Are we talking about shoes, Joe?
Yeah, Chucks are like Chuck Taylors.
That's my guess of that word.
I was thinking about making my own house shoes, but would I have to buy the rubber at the bottom?
Well, unless you want leather, what do you want the bottom to be? I have a pair of shoes that have old tire tread as the bottom, so you can. They're indestructible. They last forever.
I can actually do that at my job tomorrow. I'm gonna be walking. I'm gonna pull my knife out in the back of the shed. I'm making shoes. Get out of my way. We have old tires at my job.
So yeah.
Mark Short gets the comment of the night. Do you know in Oregon and Washington right now they'll take you on tour to find this mofo? They will take you on.
Sasquatch, come here, Sasquatch, come here. Let me fondle your fur.
Man, people found out what I believed in real quick when they're like, "Hey, we have Bigfoot tours." I'm like, "Bro, I'm from California. You cannot sell me dreams. Sorry." Show it to me or it's not real. Like, not a shopping stream. I'm a compulsive shopper, so you can sell me. Sell me. Shut up and take my money is my middle name. Like, I have to stop from buying those hooves. Like, I want hooves like Saru, but I have bad ankles. Have you seen the hoof shoes?
I think so.
They make you.
I've seen some very interesting shoes as of late.
They make you look like you're in the Chronicles of Narnia.
This is for the horse players. This isn't for like real people. This is for the pony players.
I have a really humongous foot though, so I don't know if they would ever make something in my size because I have an oddly just giant foot.
No, he means you'd use the rubber from the tire and make it to fit your foot.
Okay.
I think that's what Kale.
You can put a liquid pour. Ooh, I can do all that at the shop too. I can melt it down and re-pour it. I never thought about that. I wonder how my old boots would look resold in rubber. It's not a bad idea. Have you ever seen the photo where the guy asked for Chucks, so his grandma knitted him a pair? Oh, that's all. My grandma would have told me to get a job. You stitch totem bottoms online and then glue. Oh, okay. Interesting. I double and triple and quadruple reinforce my seams because I write as well. And like I think it's tacky when you have frayed pants when you're writing. So I I literally hem old pants. I'll buy a new pair and rehem them. I know the maker of hoof shoes in Toronto. He tried to sign me to the studio. I just don't have the ankle for that. Yeah, they make the sandals yourself out of an old tire. Look it up. They're really easy to make. Okay, the Viet Cong made them and used them during the Vietnam War.
Seriously, Toronto was expensive when, well, it was less expensive in the 90s when I used to go to Toronto.
So it sounds like Toronto's like LA.
Yeah, Canada's suffering.
I knew, like when I was watching Maple Leafs games, I knew I couldn't afford to live there when I saw Drake and Justin Bieber. I'm like, oh, you guys have famous people at your games. I can't afford to live there. You can buy an epoxy rubber and a bunch of different. I have all kinds of crazy stuff at my job. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, ballet shoes. I was thinking about that too, or making house shoes. But I was like, the whole reason I asked about the rubber that will strengthen your ankles right up.
But no, I think they mean actually like doing ballet and plie and foot exercises because they will like it's about literal ankle strength and not like you have to have strong ankles before they let you use point shoes.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm always down to take a new class and learn something new. I am not scared to learn ballet.
You've not
Back to you, Kilroy. I've been following the situation closely, but I think Canada's probably screwed.
No, we haven't, because I only talk about Canada and their debacles like at least once every 2 weeks, because I'm worried about Canada.
Well, it's not easy for Americans because in the back of our minds, we're just going to run there if everything goes really bad. And if they're screwed, we're screwed.
Oh, no. No, I like conscious choice for end of life care, but I think having access to the maid to help clean you up is a problem.
That's one thing about my Twitter. I have been seeing a ton of Canada memes. And when they're making fun of healthcare and they're using Canada as the butt of the joke, do you know America was always the butt of the joke, you know?
Yeah.
Did you see Bon Cop, Bad Cop yet? No, I have not. But now I have the KRS song Black Cop, Black Cop, Black Cop stuck in my head now. Gosh, see, conscious rap. I miss the 90s conscious rap when they actually talked about subjects and like things that were going on in their neighborhood and things that affected them. Because they were letting people know, like, this is what goes on around here. And they were all like middle class people, and they admitted that they were. And now these people get paid millions. And yes, I am jealous of new age rappers. Hold on, where's my camera? I am, and I'm man enough to can up and say it. These kids get paid a ton of money, unreal money. Canada is like a fascist regime now. I can't believe you just said that, and I'm not saying that in a shock factor. Like I just never thought I would live long enough to hear Canadians say that.
Well, no, I was seeing that there was the Polish priest in Ontario somewhere who'd left communist Poland and was like, this is what I left my homeland for. I'm trying to decide whether I'd be better off going back to Poland where I came from because you guys scare me. Like,
That's
if
so
you
sad.
can live both and feel more terrified of what you have, that gives me pause.
Waternay, I now have that's such a good song. Such a good song. Gotta get it. Got to get it. And Joe, warm it up, Kane. If they allowed whiskey and 80s rap and UFC, I would be champ in my weight class. I love that. Warm it up, Kane. Warm it up, Kane. I love that song. I miss the Tupac kind of rap where he was like, here's what's screwing up everything. Come on, guys, let's stop it. Tupac is the Black Elvis, and he would say things, and he was one of those people who just saw the future. People think he was prophetic. I'm not one of those people that believes in those kind of things, but he saw what was coming down the pipeline, and it's happening. And he was right. It's just sad that he didn't live long enough to see that he was right. My father had an obsession with watching the news, and he would keep a tally of all the rappers that would get shot around the country. And he would come to work with like he would print stuff out at home and then come to work and be like,
last time the dot matrix printer where you had to rip the sides off.
Yeah. But like it's so sad. And in LA, like being a rapper is like it's like a endangered species because eventually someone's gonna get you. You know, it's really sad.
No, it's more like suicide by. So I would make a choice that sometimes your hand and not yours always.
Well, it's different because the old school guys talked about being gangsters. These guys talk about being flashy, and then they get robbed by gangsters.
Yeah. Programs, and maybe it's just program senescence.
I missed too. Here we go. Beastie Boys also made a record that would be literally impossible to make nowadays because they had dozens of samples that would be insanely expensive. I agree with you. Tupac and a hater. Do you know, I've been like, I am so sick of watching videos of people talk about Tupac. Like, let the guy rest in peace. You know, people like Jada Pinkett who will compare every man that she has ever be with to him. Right now, Marlon Wayans is going around trashing Tupac because Tupac was an intelligent person, but when he got real gangster, everybody started listening to him, and he wasn't always super gangster. And so people,
Right, you have to move. If you're too smart, people don't want to listen, so you have to like go to like the lowest common denominator for people
exactly.
to like get it.
And he created what we see as Tupac. He created that persona because that's when people started paying attention. When he'd wear the rag on his head with the jersey, you know. The hater is a toddler he meets on the sidewalk. That's something I respect. Easy. He was a real gangster who started rapping, not somebody who just. Uh, that's one of the reasons I really can't get into modern rap. Okay, has anyone ever heard of Blueface? I'm gonna give it a second, and I'm not trashing the guy. I'm not trashing the guy, but I'm gonna give it a second. Him and his girlfriend are very famous for beating each other up on every platform, but there is a young man named Blueface. He's from the town where I'm from. He got in a high-speed chase with the sheriffs, got famous for it. He's a rapper. He's a Crip, but he's from the suburbs where I'm from. Like, we're from the suburbs. Like, the neighborhood that he got pulled over in has a swim team.
Oh, this is a rich town.
My grandma's old neighborhood, like, she was a part of a swim club and everything. Long story short, like, these kids are just different. They're just different than, and I don't have a problem with them. You know, and he opened up a chicken place by my house and everything. I don't have a problem with them, but they're just different, and they get paid so much more money than the other generations. I don't know. It's just it's mind-boggling to me how much money these kids make nowadays.
Well, that's what's happened now that they've raised the minimum wage to whatever it is, wherever it is. Grieves. Ooh.
Oh, I'm watching a Tupac video. What a legend! What a legend! Do you like Greaves? I've never heard of Greaves.
All I can think of is like the piece of armor you put around your calves, but that's not greaves. That's got a different word that sounds like that. Oh, Tribe Called Quest. Yes.
There's also a group called Digable Planets.
Yes.
They incorporate jazz into everything. Their first two albums are artwork. It's absolute artwork. And I'm showing my age now.
Okay, if we're gonna go there, let's have some Shakespeare sisters too, please.
I mean, oh, you're bringing me back. He was from Seattle. He was a hard rock guy, became a rapper. I was obsessed with that whole jazz era as a kid. We used to make skate videos, and we would use Tribe Called Quest in our skate videos. The da na 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 da na. They incorporated like real. That's when what Alibaba said earlier is so true. Or I think it was Kilroy. Like, a lot of these people wouldn't be able to afford the samples nowadays, and they're the ones driving the price up. Because Q-Tip owns a lot of people's catalogs. He is so smart though. Q-Tip is a genius because he became a producer and he's a DJ. Him and the guys from De La Soul too. They're producers and they just make money off their stuff. And here's a link to Inner Sanctum, the old time radio show. It's great, something to listen to while you fall asleep. Awesome. Oh, I do that all the time. It also has all the sound effects and studios. I'm weird. Like I need noises and bumps. If someone tried to break into my house, I probably wouldn't even hear it. I fall asleep to loud stuff. Lee Aaron, a heavy metal singer here in Canada, went jazz singer. That's like Lighthouse. Lighthouse was hard rock and they went Christian. I'm still mad and it's been 25, 30 years and I'm still mad about Lighthouse. And most of us unassuming people own the samples too. And the most unassuming people own the samples. Those are the guys. When I go to like a basketball game or a hockey game, when I see the guy sitting in the front row with a really hot wife, I'm like, ooh, they own something. Like that guy, that guy owns something. Especially when they're paying $6,000 to sit at a Laker game for one ticket, so they can sit next to LeBron James.
Not that worth it.
So, we are now to the Elvis portion of the evening, and I have a question. Should I buy my son a $10,000 truck?
No.
I just need to hear that. I just
No, I have enough vehicles. You've got one you trust. If he smashes it into something, you know that he's likely going to survive because the truck's been through worse.
That's
No.
true. It is a tank.
You're going to let your kid get their license?
I don't even know if they allow children with ASD to have a license, but my son lives his life like everybody else, so he's going to go apply, and if they deny him, then he gets denied. You know.
I think good plan.
But I don't want to deny him because I'm gonna be real. Even if he can't get a license, he's still gonna drive. I have farm property.
So then let him drive a tank. Your equivalent.
Christine Rock, no matter what. Oh, Christian, I'm still on blue. I'm still on Blueface, and his girlfriend's name is Christina Rock. Christian Rock, no matter the genre, has a particular sound to it. What is that? It's kind of schmarmy. That's like Christian rap. I've never been able to get into Christian rap. Q-Tip did what the Commodores lead singer did, sampled stuff and made a new song. Hall & Oates sampled it in early, but that's true. Lionel Richie got rich. Oh, it's autism, Waternet. Autism. I said it wrong last time, so I'm not going to say it again. But I say ASD because I work in the field, and it just makes everyone sound...
Everything sounds better with a TLA.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. Buy your son a damn Toyota sedan. I feel the same way. You're right. It's because my neighbor is selling an I have an 88. I think he's selling a 1994 truck for 10 grand. And every time we pass it every day and he's obsessing about it. But like, imagine $10,000, okay? And I give him this speech. Imagine what you can do with $10,000 effing dollars. Like, let's not devalue $10,000. Let's not.
No, which is why, okay, he can have it, but you should make him earn it and save up for that.
It's pretty. I would end up driving it. I would do what my dad did. My dad would buy me something and be like, "This is too good for you," literally, and then just be like, "My name's on the pink," and just start driving it. So. But my dad wanted a fleet. I don't want a fleet of cars. I want a fleet of sewing machines.
You have a fleet of sewing machines.
Now get him an old Volvo. So when he asks, okay, no joke, Mark. I can't believe I'm going to admit in 1998, I was in a car accident with friends of mine, and I was in a Volvo, and that car saved my life. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt and the side airbags. Because that car was well made, it saved my life. So I will never badmouth a Volvo, ever. I forgot about that car accident. That was a traumatic one. I learned to wear my seatbelt. Wait until he's older and see what kind of driver he is. I agree. He's just I want to teach him responsibility, and like animals teach you responsibility, and so do cars. But a car is cheaper than a horse.
That's for sure.
And a horse is a boat. A horse is a boat. Like if you buy a horse, you might as well get a boat because you're spending the same amount of money, you know.
Neither were.
Volvo also invented the seatbelt and let every car maker use it instead of keeping it for themselves. That's awesome. I think that's awesome. I don't know. I like, and that's another thing. I think because I was raised by a penny pincher, like I don't have a angel and devil on my shoulder. I have my father on my shoulder saying, "Ninja, are you crazy? You know what you could do with 10,000." Like my pops would have turned that 10 into 20. He was that kind of guy, you know. So like, I don't know if buying that much. Stepping away for a minute to fire one up and eat tacos. Enjoy, my friend. Enjoy. How is he with his games? Keep his temper, able to follow and pay? No. They probably say a lot about but in LA, the average driver is a rage driver. The average person in LA, and so many people don't have a license in Los Angeles that they almost made it legal to drive without a license in LA. Like you used to go to jail for it, but so many people don't have a license, it's an infraction now.
Right, because it's probably racist too, because you're like, oh, it's disproportionately this group of people who drive without a license for whatever reason. So,
And that's why they gave license to illegal immigrants as well, because people were DWL, and DWL used to mean straight to jail.
right, because we can't handle all the people there either. Darn.
Yeah, Volvos do last forever. Damn it, Joe! Now I want to get some tacos. Absolutely. I also had a 1983 VW that lasted forever. That was my surfer car. I love that stupid car. 10K for a car isn't as expensive as it used to be. Had to buy a new to me car a couple years ago. It was brutal. I think also because I have the late 90s, early 2000s price in my head. That just seems like a lot of money for a car, for a used car.
I know. I'm like, it used to be like if you spent more than like $1,000 on a car, you were getting a fancy car.
Yes.
It was like $300. Like,
That's great. Like if you were spending 5, you were getting an old Ferrari.
I know. Like a Mustang.
We call Volvos crabs. All the shell and no all shell and no guts. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. I love hearing stuff like that. I absolutely live for that. And where I live, calling someone a crab is a whole other fist fight. Even if they're not the same ones who drive without a license, more they're getting pulled over more. That was the problem. And the sheriffs and the CHP got busted for pulling over Hispanic people 90% of the time. Demographic wise, though, white people are a minority in Southern California. And so pulling over somebody, probability is much more high of pulling over a person of color because people of color are a majority here. And so because of that, the numbers get skewed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The used car market is crazy right now. I saw a shitty Chevy diesel sedan going for 16 grand. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I at first I thought people like, okay, on my local Facebook marketplace, when somebody puts a price like that, someone will post a crack pipe and be like, "Sir, you dropped this." Like, "Sir, that's too much money. Are you out of your mind?" But excuse me, that's pretty common nowadays. Excuse me. And it just shocks me how does that mean that I could sell my truck for 20 grand? It's an 88. Is it considered a classic vehicle or what?
Actually, technically, yes. So Maybe.
People turn them into monster trucks. I saw a kid that turned one into a monster truck today, or his dad probably did it because he couldn't afford to do it, but it was huge. My mom talks about the number of times my dad got pulled over for a broken tail light that miraculously was working when they got home to check. LA was notorious for that. Notorious for that. That's why in the laws are so crazy here in Los Angeles that the cops really can only stop you in your car. They technically can't walk up to you. There's a lot of things they can't do unless you're causing harm. And so like the car is the last place where they got you. But where's that line between like, because here it's not about race, they go for quotas and they get busted for it.
They do, but then there's also that case that's coming down out of Michigan right now about these folks who may have liked to collect old motor vehicles on their 5-acre property and had previously had some interactions with their municipality, but then most recently their municipality flew a drone over their property without a search warrant, and we're like, oh, this place looks worse than the last time. You're in trouble with us again.
Where was this?
I think it was in Michigan.
That used to be illegal in America, but I don't know Michigan state law. That used to be illegal.
But it still is. It's Fourth Amendment search and seizure. Their town has got a vendetta for this couple. Lessons in this truck.
I love my truck, Alibaba. They're gonna have to bury me like the Pharaoh. They're gonna have to. I'm gonna be buried with 15 singers. We can all fit in the back of the truck. You can fit 30 singers around me. I'm only 5'9". The truck bed itself is like 9 feet long, or something crazy, some outrageous. It's a 25-foot long truck, so the bed's huge. Can't even buy an old beater here for under a few grand since COVID. I think that's what it is here too. You could get them for under 1,500 before. See, that's how it was here. Like, and if you were paying that much, you were getting a truck, like a big truck, you know. So I think that's what's in my head is I have the old school prices, and inflation's hit us all. But I'm still not going to pay that much for a truck. I already own a truck, like. I won't teach my son responsibility, but I might just buy him a Toyota beater. Get him a Marty McFly. Marty McFly had a Toyota truck, and he went Back to the Future. The cops in my area used to prowl around areas where they knew people who got drug charges and said, yep, they do the same thing here, and served the time lived. They try anything they could to get them tickets and just keep them down. Yeah, it's the same thing here. Imagine the archaeologists who find your grave gauntlet. They could jumpstart the truck and drive me around. That is terrible, Kilroy. Do you know what's so sad? They do it in my neighborhood. We have, like, I live in the suburbs, okay? And we have, where I live at the foothills of all the mansions. So this is considered the good side of town. When you go on the east side, why is it always the west side is better than the east side? But when you go on the east side of my town, I could walk around here and never see a cop. Never. I could walk all hours of the night, never see a police officer. When I go to the other side of town, there's a cop every 5 minutes.
It's because you live with the police officers.
I do live with all the cops. That is true. Whenever I see a cop around here, I'm like, ooh, somebody did something.
Right, because they're your neighbors.
They are. It's so ridiculous that, like, I came steaming up behind a cop car the other day. They were, like, going to make a left. I would have made a right. She looked at me, and I smiled, and she waved. And I'm like, ooh, I live on the nice side of town. Because our sheriffs do this really weird bully thing where they try to intimidate people. Did you see the fist fight at Pride? At LA Pride? where the cops tackled these people. Okay,
Oh, yeah, but one of them was like they had a warrant out for their arrest.
so what people don't know, do not come to Los Angeles County and talk trash to our sheriffs. They work in the prison for 5 years before they're on the street. They don't play. They do. Our sheriffs are hardened by the time they hit the streets. Every single sheriff has worked in a either prison, county jail, or a processing center for 5 years before they hit the streets out here. They don't play. They don't play. Our cops do not play. Sorry, Phoenix, please continue.
I was gonna say, if they make them work in building for that long, is that why they can't run? Because they sit too much? Like, are these folks fit?
Our cops are very much a gang. I don't know. They don't play. Like you can't talk trash to them. They will tackle you. They will freaking fight you. Our cops are not scared to be put on TV. They're not scared to they know they have lawyers. East sides tend to be the bad side. Bad because weather patterns here in the east in the US tend to push smoke and pollution to the east. So wealthier people who had the money moved west of the pollution and the smokestacks. Wow. I makes sense. But that's in almost like every major city. It's a weird thing where the east side, the west side of Long Beach is it's like waterfront property, but that's $1 million houses. Okay, man, you go to the east side of Long Beach, it is one of the most gangster places on planet Earth. It is like that's where Snoop Dogg's from, and they're real gangsters over there. So it's so strange, and it's the same thing on in my little podunk suburban town, the east side. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes on over there. But they also zone all the bars on that side of town. They also zone all the liquor stores over there. We have grocery stores over here. So they sell liquor in our grocery stores in California. So we really don't have liquor stores on every corner.
No, you just call them grocery stores.
Snoop's from West Side Long Beach. I have E side. LBC is what I claim, but my name is DPG. I have that song stuck in my head, Waternay. Oh, Dogfather was such a good album. I'm showing my age again. For people who say nefarious things about me and they characterize me as this horrible, hate-filled person, I sit at home, listen to gangster rap, 90s metal, and I sew and wear a Cuck jersey. I mind my own business. And it wouldn't be a godless sewing stream if I didn't come full circle and make Phoenix explode. Absolutely, your head exploded right
Don't
now.
make me explode about cuck jokes.
And you know what? I thought about it. I'm not going to put your wife here on the back. No, my manhood is not that fragile. I am manly enough to wear a Cuck jersey. Read them and weep, kids. Read them and weep. Someone's going to cut that. Oh, but if you see it in a movie, I buy it. One of the thrift stores I go to, they get a lot of stuff from the studio. So if you see this in a movie and it means something, let me know.
No, they already figured it out. It was the actual university. Scroll back in the chat towards the beginning.
East side, LBC. They just make great music. Weird. He went to Poly, which is on the west side. So are you? My brother went to Poly as well, and he's around the same age. Well, it shows what I know about Snoop. I have an affinity. I love West Coast rap, so I still listen. I still listen to that stuff, and they're still making music. Snoop Dogg will be like Willie Nelson. He'll be in his 70s still making out. I respect Snoop Dogg. He's a mogul. He's making money. He would put his face on toilet paper if he could.
I thought he did already.
Him and Martha Stewart have gummies.
I know.
And they're in Walmart. Kilroy's like, I can't believe there's. Yeah, we have Martha Stewart gummies in Walmart, and they're legit. My mom gave me some. She's like, try these. I'm like, dude, you got these at Walmart. I came back. I was like, where'd you get those? My mother lived in the gangster part of Long Beach for a few years. Imagine a little white woman biking through the rough part of Long Beach. One of the reasons it's a miracle I'm even alive. Long Beach is no joke. It's so beautiful there. It is so beautiful. It's palm tree paradise, but it's also like one of the most gangster places. I saw an interesting video about the assault tank police recruitment videos versus community assistant police recruitment videos. They do not play. In LA County, like our cops are hardened, they're ready to fight. Don't worry, Phoenix. I'm gonna put a cap on this in like 15, 20 minutes. But now I just have Snoop, and the only reason I even know that is because I have family that's from Long Beach, and they're from that area, and I obsessively listen to Snoop Dogg. Now I've got time stuck in my head. Oh, that brings me. I know we've already had this conversation, but is it wrong to rock out to Michael Jackson?
No, Roald Dahl was a horrible person, but I love his books. I think we have to separate the artist from and with Jackson, all we have is accusations right now because he can't speak for himself anymore. So
He more mutilated himself than anything else to look like Peter Pan. More than anything else that I
and
think of him, I think because I'm big on like I have blotches here. That's one of the reasons I grow my skin out on the side. I have white blotches on my face. I'm not gonna bleach my face, but that's a 5-hour conversation. But I'm just saying like I still rock out to like remember the time is my song, and who's bad. If they allowed that in whiskey in the UFC, if they let me walk out to that every time, I'd be champ in my weight class. The PA State Police recruitment site literally calls the PA State Police a paramilitary force. Not exactly something I like to put lightly. Our on Fifth and Wall in downtown LA, you can walk right past all the LAPD tanks and helicopters. They're in the middle of downtown LA, and they're in a parking garage. And if you walk, you can see them. Like it's eerie, and they're tanks, but they're all blue, and they say LAPD on them. Oh yeah, no early. You know, it's so funny. I took my son on a tour through Google. I'm like, because I showed him a picture, and he's like, "Who's that?" And I said, "That's Michael Jackson." He's like, "No, that's not." I said, "That's Mike Jack. He looked like me." He was a kid. He looked like everybody else. Dirty Diana was about the last cool MJ song. It does. Jackson's music holds up. So is next Monday going to be the Michael Jackson debate? But is it our place to hold court for people? Is it our place as human beings? Because I'll tell you the one thing that drives me the most insane about the internet is people have done it with me. They've had a trial, they hold court, they say, God, so he's this horrible person. I wasn't present for any of it. You know, and there's this really arrogant, entitled thing that we think we can judge the past. Like I'm a John Wayne fan. I don't think he would have hung out with me. I don't care. I liked his movies as a kid. You know, I don't know. If we chuck out all the art from bad artists, we would be left with nothing. I don't know what we should stop appreciating the art, but I do think we should hold artists accountable. I agree. Okay, but where do we draw that line? Like, do you guys still listen to R. Kelly?
no, but I didn't like his stuff before, so it's not like I'm going out of my way. Like I was not a fan before.
Because they stopped playing him on like Sirius Radio and stuff.
Well, yeah, because where are they going to draw the line? But when's Amber Heard going to draw the line and just like realize that this $15 million book deal and moving to Spain and being like, oh, I can't handle that he's being so successful, and my world is just like, I'm good too. Come look at me, how perfect I am. Oh.
I actually said this to my son the other day, Kilroy. I said if it like because he was saying, "Oh, we should get rid of this and this kind of people," and I said if it wasn't for those people, we wouldn't have color on this earth. Eccentric people are like bees; they give the earth color. They give the planet something to talk about.
Right.
I don't know. I just and I think it's because I've been trying not to talk about it all night long, but we're almost out of here. It's because I've been watching the Debate Me Bro crowd, and they're super over analytical, and I'm like, bro, do you guys like? There has to be a point where you just live your life instead of judging everything and everyone. I wonder how these people put their shoes on in the morning,
Right.
without it being like a 45-minute debate.
Like, what are you? I think that makes me think about, like, what are you doing besides talking? If you truly are that impassioned about something that you have such strong feelings, are you actually putting your actions where your words are? And what are you actually doing for those things? Yeah, you're
Absolutely.
making it worse. Amber, I know that bitch needs to just like shut up and get over herself.
I laughed that she moved to Spain because the state of California is the worst state to live in if you owe someone money because California will send marshals after you. California does not play when it comes to collections. Anyone who's ever had paid child support in the state of California, if you abscond, they'll go anywhere to find you. And they will arrest you. So California is the wrong place. Amber Heard should have not have moved here owing people money. They'll make you pay in California. My degree is in literature. We have a whole class in schools of criticism on separating the text from the author. I think I should take that class because I think that's what we're falling into, that we feel that we have the right to judge people. And sometimes I just want to hear the symphony. I don't want to know what you did to get there.
Right, Faulkner and Brunhild are Wagner and the ring cycle is actually, it's like not horrible. Wagner, you were an asshole. Sorry, dude.
Again, like I love Wagner, but I'm not hanging out with him.
No, well, fortunately, he's dead. So we got that going for us.
That's the whole thing I say about John Wayne. I absolutely because I grew up watching the movies. I loved the guy, but I don't think I would have necessarily hung out with him, and that's okay.
Exactly. Well, and I think that's funny about like the YouTube social media parasocial relationship stuff. Like we're here doing these things, and people are like, "Oh." But I lost track. I was going down a hole, and
my new pet peeve is people who think that they have the right to judge others in the point of where I cancel blah blah blah. Like that's arbitrary and nothing.
Oh, right. You
got bored.
You can sign off if you don't like listening to us. There's other channels. Nobody's like forcing you to put up with us.
I've been canceled for being brown with an opinion. I don't. At this point, I don't even know what it is. I'm just canceled. Stamp it on the forehead. I went against. I swam upstream when everyone was swimming downstream.
You got the big pink C on your forehead.
I think lots of people have gotten so obsessed with being a pure good person that it's just making them neurotic and turning them into bad people. I agree, because they're holding themselves to unobtainable standards as well. And who sets these standards in the first place?
Even if there are standards, why do we feel compelled to need to force square circles into square boxes?
I missed Waternays. The chat is coming out different on YouTube than it is on my screen. That's funny. I find it interesting that a lot of people, popular cowboys, John Wayne played, were black. Yes, and Bass Reeves, a hero of mine. Clint Eastwood plays Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves was a black sheriff from Oklahoma. He was a sheriff, and he was famous for bringing people back. And the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that scene where the Mexican guy and Clint Eastwood are shooting each other in the middle of the desert, that's Bass Reeves' story. That happened to him in real life. And he dragged the guy all the way back to Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, that's right. YouTube is lacking. Cancel the freeways then. It's so funny. I gave the same speech to my son. We were on the freeway and I said, we have freeways because of World War II. Like we can get to the city within 20 minutes because was it Eisenhower who saw the freeways and was like, oh my gosh, we can do this in America. No one can live up to those standards. I agree. It's unobtainable perfection. That's what I used to say about my religion. It drove me crazy. The top guy Adolf made the Autobahn freeway a thing and was the first. It's true. One of the things I say is everybody's a hypocrite, including you. Some of us are just more hypocritical than others. There's a rap group called The Locks, and there's this guy named Styles P, and they have a song called No Selfies. And one of his lines, he says, I ain't shit, but at least I know it. And it stuck with me because he's one of those people who really is what he says he is. Like, he's a gangster. Sometimes you type something in the chat, but by the time it rolls up, it's a total non sequitur. Oh gosh, that's me. I do that. You know why? And sometimes in the chat, like I'll sit and waffle if I want to say something, and then I'll type it in, and they've already like moved on from it. That happens to me a lot. So, in review, I bought a Cuck jersey. My spants are going to come out beautiful. And if it wasn't for Kilroy, I want to thank you because you were the first person to suggest something. So my spants are being made because of you. And Joe had me bust out my my bell bottom. So shout out to you, Joe. I forgot, like I've made so many Jenkos and bell bottoms. Do you have anything that you'd like to show?
I'll be back on Sunday night over on the YouTubes and the Rumbles, and I'm sometimes on the Instagrams and my locals, which is even less. But I'm around the infowebs. We appreciate you. We stitch, we bitch, and sometimes we learn stuff by accident. But next week, actually, I think I'm going to be brave and I'm going to take apart the electrics and remove this like scary stuff. I'm going to untape. We'll have to talk about what I need to as far as the cording, but next week, let's just disassemble stuff. Because if I see 3 wiring, you are not getting plugged in. You need to be rewired. I know enough about enough stuff that's scary.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, excuse me. I want to thank everybody in the chat. You guys are absolutely awesome. And remember, if you're having low blood sugar, buy a Hershey. If you're having a bad day, buy a Cuck jersey. Never a boring day here in the House of Sewing. You guys are absolutely Phoenix. Take lots of pictures.
Oh, I did. So I can do a slideshow next week of all these old pictures because I want to show this, like, the layers of wiring. They're quite impressively terrifying. Oh, I did that. And yes.
I'm going to ride this Cuck jersey like a surfboard. I am so excited.
You do that.
And I think next week, do you think next week we should have an attachment stream where you're taking that apart?
Yes, I'm going to take this apart and let's do attachments. That's Sunday stream attachments and
that'll give me a goal
of electrical engineering for dummies.
Absolutely.
Be sure to tip your waitress
on your way out. Now I feel that's a total like Don Rickles line. And that kid stealing your hubcaps. So, as always, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time.